night. It is Friday night. It is Friday night. I keep telling y'all we need to celebrate Monday the way we celebrate Friday night. That is what we have to do, okay? So I want to see y'all feeling this good on Monday too. All right? Don't let them get you. That was one of my favorite all-time songs by Kanye West, aka Ye. Welcome to another episode, late night of On the Block with Jen. Let's get the business out the way. We're gonna kick it a little light, you know what I'm saying? Y'all probably in your beds, home after the party, after the bar, after work spot, you know what I'm saying? You chilling. Maybe you mad at your girlfriend right now, maybe you mad at your boyfriend. Come kick it with me. Come chill with me for a little while. People in the chat, you know what to do with the wrenches. I doubt anybody will be showing their ass this late at night. I really hope not. What's up to the troll babies? I always like when you stop by and visit from the Star Report. How you doing, So Cream Productions? I am YouTube's bad girl, Jen. Yes, that's what I've heard. What you think? You guys think I'm bad? Anywho, I am on the block with Jen on TikTok, on the block with Jen on Instagram, on the block with Jen at Gmail, on the block with Jen on Facebook, on the block with Jen. Guess where else? Guess where else? Because you guys think y'all slick. You guys think y'all slick, but y'all not slick, okay? I'm also on the block with Jen on Cash App. Do you see that little thing scrolling right there on the bottom? That is where you can donate to the show and keep the church lights on, okay? If you're catching a replay and this is not live, guess what? Cash App is open 24 hours a day. So you can support me while I'm asleep. Yeah, I'm asleep and bling, bling, bling. I'll get the notification on my phone that you were so generous to send me some money to buy me a smoothie. And I really do buy smoothies, okay? Isn't that cute? I really do buy smoothies. I have to do a little video of y'all, you know, as I buy all these smoothies. I'll do a little video of little clips for y'all where I get my smoothies from. Anywho, if you want to contact me, please use the Gmail, on the block with Jen at Gmail, okay? Don't go in there acting a monkey ass fool. That Gmail specifically for if you want to collab with me or you have some sort of business you want to talk about or a topic that you'd like me to cover specifically in Jen fashion. Hit me on the block with Jen at Gmail. Again, on Instagram, if you want to see my reels, if you want to see me act up, hit me on the TikTok. I'm on the block with Jen everywhere. It is very, very easy to find all over the place. What's up, the Clue Channel? Okay, guys, so it's Friday, easy peasy, right? Easy peasy, easy peasy. We can't say Japanesey anymore, right? Easy peasy Japanesey, because that's like racist now. There's so many things we used to say that is like now considered racist or insensitive. So I'll just say easy peasy. I won't end it with Japanesey. I'll just say easy peasy, okay? So I was just playing No Church in a While, which is one of my all-time favorite songs of fucking Kanye West. I love that song. I love it lyrically. I'm an atheist, as you guys know. So these lyrics, when you hear this, human beings in a mob, right? It's so descriptive of the current time we're living in. And this song didn't just drop. This song is a couple years old, right? But when you think about it, human beings in a mob, right? There's always mobs online, right? Trying to move people to and fro and trying to cancel people. And then what's a mob to a king, right? When you consider someone like Dave Chappelle, like all the mobs in the world online who are trying to cancel him, he's not being canceled, right? That's a king to a mob. Then what's a king to a god, right? Then you look at maybe someone like Kanye West, right? What's a king to a god? And it's like the god was, quote unquote, the Jewish people, according to Kanye West. Those are the people that are trying to ruin his life. Let's go further. My favorite line, not only because I'm an atheist, but because this is so true, and I'm going to tell you how. What's a god to a non-believer? Okay, that's a deep line. It does more than just rhyme with the line before it. Okay, what's a god to a non-believer? I am a fan of the show on HBO from a while back called American Gods, and it basically was a series. It was really, really good, right? It was basically a series with different gods, right? And everybody worships a different god. Literally, everybody worships a different god. Like Christians would be like, well, no, I'm about Jesus and I'm about his father. But honestly, when you put 10 different Christians in a room, each one will have, right, like the general idea of the Bible. More than likely, they haven't read the Bible from beginning to end. And they think of sins differently, right? Even 10 so quote unquote Christians, if you get them in the room, and I'm not picking on Christians, you could do Baptists, you could do Jehovah's Witnesses, you could do Pentecostal, any Catholics, right? Put 10 of them in a room, and all 10 of them will have sinned differently and justified their sins differently. So even within the same organization, you're still going to get people that's like, well, that's not really a sin. Well, I cheated, but I love my wife, or I lied on that test, but I helped the homeless on the weekend, right? Everybody cookie cuts their religion. So when you look at a line like what's a God to a non-believer, like in the show American Gods I was talking about, it was basically different gods that existed to different people. Like you have the God of luck, and then you had Jesus and the different types of Jesuses, right, that exist in people's minds. And you got the Asian Jesus and the Latin Jesus and the Black Jesus and the white Jesus, right? Everybody has a different Jesus in their mind for the most part, and they follow differently. So in American Gods, it just proved that the show proved over and over again that we make religion what it is, right? We make the gods. We fear the God. We put on God, this quote unquote God, we put on God what he can and can't do. Like we tell other people, God don't like ugly. Well, God thinks, God wants us to. Well, God said, right? We're constantly making this person, right? Whatever we want him to be according to how we feel and how we live, right? We're constantly talking for this character, right? Even the people who quote unquote wrote the Bible, they were talking for this character, this God person, right? We've never heard God personally. We just see what people said he said, right? People that wrote the Bible, people told us that he said that, but we don't know if he said that. But these men said that's what he said. Then everybody ran with it, and then it spawned religion, and then religion broke off into 4,000 parts, 4,000 plus now, because there are over 4,000 religions worldwide. So it just broke up like a fucking meteorite. It landed, and boom, rocks of religion spread everywhere. So that's why I like American Gods, and that's why I love this line, what's a God to a non-believer? Because I don't have the fear that a lot of you religious people have. Right? I have no fear of hell. I have no fear, and some people say, well, you don't have to believe in God because God believes in you. And I'm like, well, no, you believe in God. I don't. And I'm sure, if I don't believe in something, what's a God to a non-believer? I don't believe in it. Right? So I don't have that fear. I don't walk around with that fear of sin or damnation, or, I innately have compassion. I innately know what's right and wrong. And I know what feels good to me and what would feel good to another human being, right? I don't need the fear of a God to be a good person. If I lie, I lie. If I cheat, I cheat. If I don't, I don't. You know what I mean? It has nothing to do with any outside forces, no devil, no God. We are born, we live, we die. What we do in between is our business. With that said, I believe in religion wholeheartedly, because without religion, a lot of you would be savages, okay? A lot of you with religion are savages, but without the fear of God, a lot of you would be savages, full-blown hyenas in the wild, vultures waiting for things to die so you can eat off it, full-blown savages, parasites, leeches. So I'm all for religion. I think religion should stay in place, because a lot of you people are savages without religion. So you need it. Whatever's going to keep you home, not cheating on your wife, do that. If you think like, I can't cheat because God's going to punish me, keep God in your life. I can't molest that person, or I can't kill that person because God is watching. Whatever it is you think this God is stopping you from doing, please stay prayed up. So don't think I'm one of them atheists that's anti-religion. I am not. I am all for religion. Whatever it is you guys need to keep you acting like normal human beings, please do that. Okay? But, that was a little explanation of why that's one of my favorite Kanye West songs ever. And then the other one is Jesus Walks, right? Very well done, very well produced, very well arranged. Kanye West, he was that dude, right? So the topic tonight is interesting because it's Kanye versus everybody, right? And when I say everybody, I mean everybody. I don't just mean like, oh, he's against the Jewish people. I mean, he is running off at the mouth against Jay-Z, against Beyonce, against Diddy, against Meek Mill, against Boozy. So it's not just, oh, the Jewish people out to get me. It is literally Kanye versus everybody. We've never seen anything like this. Like we've seen Marlon Brando go against the Oscars, and we've seen a couple of people rebel again. We've seen it here and there. We've never seen, you guys could correct me if I'm wrong, but we've never seen a celebrity versus everybody. His people, those people that give him the contracts, those people that give him the endorsements, his sponsors, like against even his damn wife. Okay, it's Kanye versus everybody, right? And we've never seen anything like this before. So Kanye is like, you know what I mean, the media gift that keeps on giving, and people are still hanging on every word. They're waiting to see who he's gonna attack in the next interview. So I have a little clip for you guys so you can see what he said, you know what I mean, about people that are not only talking about him, but reaching out to him as well. And I have a little twist for it. I have a little twist, as I always do. I have a little twist in this last Kanye rant, right? But it's the latest one, and I thought it was really interesting. And I hope I didn't offend anybody in the chat. If I did, you know how I feel. After you log off or whatever, you stop watching me, go on back to your life. So whatever I say here should not affect you in any way, shape, or form. When you leave here, I got laundry to do, and you got laundry to do. That should be your focus, your dirty laundry. Tristan! All right. So let me play this video for you guys. I thought it was interesting. I'm going to drop the link. Right now in case somebody wants to come up right away. Let me drop this right now in case somebody wants to come up. But I'm going to play the latest video, which I thought was super interesting. And I want to dissect it. I have an interesting take. Don't I always? All right, guys. This one I may not play twice, so pay attention, please. This one's a minute long. All right, here we go.
They can't control me. You get what I'm saying? They can control Shaq. They can control Charles Barkley. They can control LeBron James. They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
But not you, man.
But they can't control me. You see, it ain't no name I won't name. Exactly. It's up.
Not you.
You know what I'm saying? And just for Minister Farrakhan, I love you. But the way you read that, I took that as a slight. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking no disrespect from nobody. So let's get on the phone and let's talk that out. I don't care who you are. I ain't taking no slice from nobody. Right? I ain't taking no slice from nobody. It's God. That's the only person that I serve. My mom ain't here. My mama was sacrificed.
Me too.
You understand?
Yeah. I'm Christian too.
Michael Jordan. What about him? His daddy, right? Bill Cosby, his son, right? Dr. Dre, his son. You know, out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing. Feels like it might be a lot of that in order to control, traumatize. They want to monetize and traumatize. And God loved me. You understand? They hit me. Gap, Adidas, all that away. Still, Forbes, who hate me, right, had to write net worth 400 million. Jesus is king. God loved me.
That's more important thing in life.
That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? And this truth is going to be heard. Y'all can't send none of y'all Meek Mills, y'all Puffies.
Damn. It's Kanye versus everybody, okay? You heard him say it is up. It is up and it's stuck, okay? It is up and it is stuck, okay? He even had comments for Minister Farrakhan, who very recently went on social media and gave a speech discussing not only Kanye, but Kyrie, and he addressed how Black blogs and media personalities are handling Kanye and Kyrie. He did the elder thing, right? The voice of reason, right? The grand equalizer. Hey, Black people, I'm coming to tell you, you're not doing X, Y, and Z correctly, and you should do this, that, and the third. And I wanted to get into that as well, which is why, you know, my title for the topic on the thumbnail is, did Kanye go too far, or are religious leaders passé? Are religious leaders passé? I know when I had Brother Ish here before, we spoke about, I'd asked him, how would you, because, you know, as you guys know, Brother Ish is part of the NOI, the Nation of Islam, for those who don't know. And I asked him, how will you reach this younger generation, or this new human being? Because now we're dealing with human beings that are addicted to social media. So it's a different human being. And I don't think people realize how serious I am when I say humans are evolving. They're evolving to having everything instantaneous online. When they're mad at their boyfriend, they're talking about it online and getting reactions. When a girl has low self-esteem, she's online and she's like, yeah, a million people gonna like this and I'm gonna feel better. So it's a new world. It's a new brain is forming in humans and in our children, and so on and so on. This is a new human being that you're dealing with, which is why I asked Brother Ish, how would the NOI reach out to young people now and get them to relate and get them to come into the nation, recruit them into the nation? But not just the NOI, all religions. Like, how are religious leaders going to talk to this new human being, these new young kids that are online all the time and addicted to being online and making money online, right? Is religion passé? Are less people going to church? I hear the atheist community, the population is growing. Are people looking at it now like this shit was fucking hogwash to begin with? I got some real shit to do out here. So is it passé? Are we all evolving? Going back to Kanye, he's naming names, okay? We're talking about heavyweights in the industry, LeBron James and Diddy and Jay-Z and Beyonce. And he's saying there's nobody I won't name. I don't give a fuck. I think that's interesting, very entertaining, but it is up and stuck with Kanye. I find it very, very intriguing that, you know, the Black community still has this community to it, right? Let me explain, right? Like, let's say Kanye's acting up, right? For some reason, other Black celebrities feel like they're entitled to reach out to that person and say, hey, don't do that and don't say that, right? So I feel Kanye in that way. Like, this is a grown man in his 40s. He is not a teenager, right? He's not a little boy, yet people are reaching out to him. Again, I spoke about the infantilization of Black men. They treat Kanye like he's a child, like a baby. Like, you know, the Diddy's reach out, everybody's telling him what he should and shouldn't say and shouldn't do, right? There's like this community, you know, environment, which is great, right? Everyone should have a community that reaches out. But the way they reach out to Kanye is kind of like, you know, shaking their finger. Like, don't say that. That's not, you know, and people have done that to me. People have done that to me. My Facebook is very controversial, just like my show. This isn't new to me. I've been talking like this since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. This is how I've always been. This isn't for show. I've always been like this, even as a teenager. And I've had grown Black men in my DMs, okay? Over 6 big guys that you would think would have a presence and not be scared to say what they want, more than once have contacted me privately. Hey, you shouldn't talk about white people like that. And I'm like, what? It's my fucking opinion. And why are you sneaking in my DMs to say that? Why don't you just say it on the fucking post? What is this fear people have, right? But I've had it happen to me. And I'm like, I'm a fucking adult. I understand a teenager that you see, oh my God, you're about to crash that car. Let me stop you because I know better. But why don't people realize that some motherfuckers are just like gonna say what the fuck they want to say and do what they want to do? Like, I don't understand that. Why is everybody clamoring and running to Kanye? Hey, don't say that. Like, he's a fucking adult in his 40s who feels a certain way and is saying that he feels that way. Like, why do people feel entitled to contact this man and talk? So I understand he's rebelling. I understand why he's throwing out all them names. Like, fuck Beyonce, fuck Jay-Z, fuck this one, fuck that one. You're not going to get me. I can say what I want. So it's refreshing. It's refreshing if nothing else. Right? Because I don't think he has an end goal. I just think he's going to torment himself further and further and further because he is damaging business. I don't think the Jewish people are this big. I don't think they're this big ogre, this demon that comes and takes your money. They make people very, very, very wealthy. Very wealthy. And I know we've heard on these timelines that the Jewish people are so evil and they make people very wealthy when you go into business with them. Now you're not going to make as much money as they do, but neither do the football players compared to the coaches, compared to the team owners. And you guys still watch football. And you're going to watch basketball after Kyrie gets kicked to the curb. So don't tell me y'all care that much. Y'all don't care that much about them unfair contracts. You're going to watch football and you're going to watch basketball and you're going to listen to Jay-Z, though he collabed with Kanye, and you're going to listen to music after Kanye goes off to, I don't know, another country. That would be my advice to Kanye. Like, leave this fucking country for a little while. All of us should, by the way, leave the country for a couple of years and then come back if we want. But I don't get that. I don't get the calling Kanye to like, hey, don't say that. He's a grown man. Diddy? Like, Diddy should be calling his sons and telling them what to do and what not to do and what he thinks. Not a fucking Kanye West. That's your peer. That's a whole man. But they treat Kanye like he's a fucking child. But it is obviously Kanye versus everybody. Now, as far as what he said about Farrakhan in the video I just played for you guys, do you think he's going too far, or do you think that's just a sign of the times? Justin, is that you?
Yes, yes, yes.
It is Mr. Nancy. How apropos for him to be here.
Listen, he's all I've thought about since all this started.
Amazing
That
monologue.
speech that he had.
Oh, amazing. I play it ever so often just to see the level you have to be on as an actor. Whoever's watching, this character, Mr. Nancy, is a god from the show I was telling you about, American Gods, and he has one of the best monologues I've ever seen from an actor. The performance was through the roof. Okay. And he wrote a lot of that dialogue himself on the show too. Then they kicked him off the show. He got a little too black for them. Literal story. He got a little too black for them. Too much rebellion in him, too much rebellious slave. And he did get kicked off. And he spoke about it. He spoke about getting kicked off and how he wrote a lot of the dialogue. And there was controversy behind that. But he really has one of the best monologues I've ever seen from an actor on that show, American Gods. You know, so when I look at Kanye, I'm like, did he go too far? Should there be this you know, unwritten like rule, like you respect leaders and you respect spiritual leaders or religious leaders, or are people now like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what church you lead. Is it passé? Are people not as afraid of religion and, you know, elders as they used to be? Now, I understand why Farrakhan did what he did. He has a love for his people. He wants to equalize the situation. Like, hey, you guys need to support Kanye. But are people talking out of turn here? Are the Diddy's talking as boozy? Are people talking out of turn, trying to control Kanye? That is an adult. He's an adult male. Why doesn't he have the right to say whatever the fuck he wants without people rushing in and be, hey, but are you okay? What's going on? Maybe he's perfectly okay, and that's just how he feels. Right? So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So Tristan, before you comment, I'm gonna play the video one more time for the new people that are in the room. Veganista says she's left the country for a couple months. Wow. Veganista, which one? You said the monologue from the Colored Museum? Let me know what that's about. All right, so I'm going to read this comment from Ha Boogie, and then I'm going to play the video again for the new people in the room. You don't know how they are approaching him behind the scenes. When you are a minority and a part of a community, it should be your obligation to try to help each other, especially when you see someone in decline or help. See, that's the thing, though, that what makes you think that that's a decline? Why is what Kanye is doing a decline? Why isn't it just, I'm fed up with this fucking system that I volunteered to be in? I have regrets and now it's me versus everybody. Why is it looked upon as some decline? Right? And also, the way Kanye sees it, he's seeing like they're sending their boys to control him. Because as you'll hear in the video that I'm about to play again, right? These people are trying to put out the fire. They want him to stop doing what he's doing. But what is he doing other than calling out the system he's in? What is he doing? Why should he be stopped, right? Because how Boogie, you just said, especially when you see them on the decline, right? I see a man fed up with a system that he volunteered to be in. Now he regrets being involved with them, fully enveloped. And now he's talking against it. So how is he? I don't see a decline. I see it 1 + 1 = 2. Some people hired you. They wanted you to collab with them. They gave you a lot of money to do it. They gave you billions of dollars actually to do it. But you had to keep a certain image because you work for that company or you're under that umbrella. It's no different if you get hired at McDonald's and then you come in with a Burger King uniform. What's the fucking difference? They hired you to work at McDonald's, not Burger King. So what you're going to do is you in your Burger King costume can get the fuck out. That's the only thing I see happening. And he's doubling down, right? So what is this decline that you see? What is this decline? Elaborate. What is this decline? What is, I don't get that. And also, it doesn't matter who's approaching him behind the scenes. He doesn't want to be approached, period. He has a right. So I don't get that. What do you mean? But sometimes people got to mind their fucking business, especially when you're not related to somebody. If you're not related to them, if they're not your lover, if you didn't give birth to them. But I'm saying there's this entitlement that people feel like, well, I'll go in there. Like, you know, Diddy's he's a mogul in this business. So Diddy was like, well, I'll text him. I'll stop him from blah, blah, blah. And Kanye was like, fuck you too. I'm a mogul. I got $2 billion. I got more money than you. Not anymore. But I said time. So you would have to elaborate. But here, let me play it again. Oh, Joanna says she was in London for a month. Yes, please get out. Briley said, good night, Jen. You more black than me. I've heard that before. Tristan says that too. I've heard that before.
Exactly.
I've heard that before. So let me play this video once again, and you'll hear Kanye say basically like, y'all ain't gonna tell me what to do. And he's an adult. He has every right.
They can't control me. You get what I'm saying? They can control Shaq. They can control Charles Barkley. They can control LeBron James. They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
But not you, man.
But they can't control me.
Not
You see, it
you.
ain't no name I won't name.
Exactly.
It's up.
Not you.
You know what I'm saying? And just for Minister Farrakhan, I love you. But the way you read that, I took that as a slight. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking no disrespect from nobody. So let's get on the phone and let's talk that out. I don't care who you are. I ain't taking no slice from nobody. Right? I ain't taking no slice from nobody. It's God. That's the only person that I serve. My mom ain't here. My mama was sacrificed.
Me too.
You understand?
Yeah. I'm Christian.
Michael Jordan, what about him? His daddy, right? Bill Cosby, his son, right? Dr. Dre, his son. You know, out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing. Feels like it might be a lot of that in order to control, traumatize. They want to monetize and traumatize. And God loved me. You understand? They hit me. Gap, Adidas, all that away. Still, Forbes, who hate me, right, had to write net worth 400 million. Jesus is king. God loved me.
That's more important thing in life.
That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? And this truth is going to be heard. Y'all can't send none of y'all Meek Mills, y'all Puffies.
Well, well. One thing I gotta say though about celebrities, I think sometimes once you hit a certain tax bracket and fame, you get a little delusional. Okay. I don't agree with everything Kanye says. To me, it's it's not complicated or emotional for me. It is very simply you get hired to do a job. If you fail at that job, you get fired. It's very, very simple for me. If you are on someone's payroll, you don't talk about the boss any old kind of way. You know that. Some of us have hated our bosses. Did we ever go in there and hold the meeting and jump on a chair and tell the whole office, I hate this motherfucker is unfair and he's not paying us what we should be paid? No one does that. We put in our 2 weeks notice, or we don't, or we quit. But you cannot expect to work under someone's umbrella and say whatever the fuck you want to say. So in that way, I disagree with Kanye, because I think he should have just left quietly, took his 2 billion, left quietly, and been like, fuck y'all, I don't want to deal with y'all no more. Another delusion that I see with celebrities, he says, oh, what about, Dre's son, Michael Jordan's father? A lot of people disappear in Hollywood. Do you know how many people I know who have died within the past year, be it COVID, heart attack, or suicide? Like, people are dropping like flies. Depression is up, suicide is up, and none of them were celebrities. But for some reason, when it's a celebrity, people forget that people die. People get robbed, people lie, people cheat, people steal, people get killed, right? People go get lipo and die like his mother, like Kanye's mother, right? There's a couple of women that died getting BBLs, because that's what happens when you have surgery. You take a risk, right? But for some reason, Kanye thinks his mother was sacrificed. So what about all the other mothers that died on a BBL table? And there have been many. Doesn't make the news because they're not Kanye's mother. But it really is one of the most dangerous surgeries you can get, a BBL. Right? So, in the real world, lots of people get robbed. Bill Cosby's son got robbed for his car. Do we not hear about carjackings all the time? Do we not hear about carjackings all the time? But when Bill Cosby's son gets carjacked, it was a sacrifice. So that's the only thing I have to disagree with him on, along with him not being a good employee. But to me, it is stupid and silly to think that once you're a celebrity, you are untouchable from crime. That boy did not have any security with him, Bill Cosby's son. Driving around in an expensive car, okay? Some white trash was like, I need that car, I need some money. Took the car. Probably found out after when he saw the news, like, oh shit, that was Bill Cosby's son or somebody famous. But crime happens. Like, celebrities are not exempt. People die after surgery. Celebrities are not exempt. So it's silly for him to say a lot of people disappear in this business. A lot of people disappear, period. A lot of people disappear, period. So it's stupid to me that celebrities feel like they're untouchable. That part is silly. I'm going to bring up Haran, victimology tenfold. So hi guys, what are you doing here so late? I was like, my people ain't coming, it's late.
I got a ring. I'm like this. I'm like, oh, she got a premiere going. Then I'm like, the way you were talking, I'm like, is this live? I'm like, oh, okay. Let me roll up on out of here.
Oh, no, it was good to see y'all, because I had a mushy day. So I'm glad to see y'all. I really, really am.
Okay, we'll turn it up for you. I believe people forget what consequences look like, and they think Kanye West is above consequences or above approach. So at the end of the day, he can get mad at people trying to reach out to him. They're trying to save your career that you desperately worked for.
You think that's what they're doing?
They have no choice because at the end of the day, to me, actually no, Jay Z ain't say jack shit.
at all.
Jay Z is playing it right. He's like this. You do you, I'ma do me. Whatever you do is your problem. Which he's been doing his whole career, and you see where he's at. I said Rihanna has yet to say anything. I said the actual billionaires out of hip hop have not reached out to that man because they like this. Listen, we have businesses and relationships with all these other people, and this is the name of the game. That's what it is. You have to be PC because that's advertisers, other business associates. They do not want any friction at all to taint their business. And Kanye West, for some reason, believes, oh, I can be disrespectful to the point where I'm going to offend millions of people and get away with it. And those millions of people said, no, you're not. You're done. Pack up your ball and go.
Right. So, so I wanted to, Joanna, to answer your question, how did Farrakhan slight Ye? Okay, so here's the thing. I didn't think he slighted him, but I'm not Kanye, so I don't know what offended him by the speech that Farrakhan made. But Farrakhan addressed Kyrie and Kanye, and he was doing the grandpa thing. The listen, you guys got to work together and don't attack these guys in the media and they're one of us and brother and son and blah he did that whole spiel. He did what a religious leader would do. Everybody kumbaya and love, and let's talk to these Jewish people and come to have a round table. I don't know why Black people keep asking for that round table with the Jewish people. They don't have um leverage. They don't have power. Like Black people in this country don't have the power that Jewish people have. So you have to understand, it's like a child, your child specifically, wanting to negotiate with you in your house. If you have to
I,
come home and have your snacks and do your fucking homework and take your bath before bed and be in bed by 9, it's non-negotiable, right? Because I have the power here. Now, if you want some power, you got to wait till you get older and old enough to move out and get your own house and your own job. Then you have power there. That's just how power works. It's not there's no science to power. That's what it is. It's black and white. It's black and white, right? So I don't know why they keep asking for this. Hey, Jewish people, sit down with us. They don't have to. Y'all are not the same, right? And I don't say that in a bad way. I say it's real. That's what it is. Just like
well,
your
I,
children can, what I mean, play power
black,
games.
black black people have to realize this is one thing I've learned at work, right? Do you remember Hurricane Sandy a few years back?
Yes, of course. Yep, I
So
remember.
so my job when Hurricane Sandy hit, we had to fly out to Oklahoma, and that's when I met the CEO of the company, so on and so forth. I guess I did good work because he would talk to me every day, and we became friends. So a few years later, he'll come and visit the new center, and he'll say, right, all the executives come in, don't speak to me. But when the CEO comes in last, shakes my hand, we have a conversation. Now everybody's buddy buddy with me now. Black people have to realize it's not about whether you have power or not. It's what is your value? I
Mm.
said, and a lot of people think you have no value. They're not gonna talk to you, or if you have the certain relationships with certain things, they may or may not talk to you. That's how it has to be. It's simple power dynamics, and I don't understand why we don't get that.
So this comment here before I pass the mic, you have to understand, and I know we're emotional people, like we're indigenous people are emotional people. We love hard, right? But you have to understand there is no emotion in business. So this comment here, and I understand why you made it, Jack, Fabian. They need to pay him what's owed him. They wouldn't even have that shoe if it wasn't his idea. His idea is all over that shoe. His name is all over that shoe. His swag is all over that shoe. Guess what's not all over that shoe? Guess what's
That
not all over
contract
that?
says different.
Exactly, the
You get
contract.
what you negotiate.
Right. It doesn't matter what's all over that shoe. If the fine print in that contract said there's no emotion in the clause, right? If you fuck up and we got to kick you to the curb, we own the designs. And that's been going on in contracts for years. I mean, I'm sure it's in Diddy's contracts too, right? Whoever's giving you the contract more than likely has the power. Right. And I'm learning that as I go. I'm also shopping, you know what I mean, project. If they're giving me the contract, they have the power. Now they're going to use me, but I need them until I'm in a position not to. Right. But that's how it goes. That's how it goes. So there is no emotion in it for them. Like, yeah, that was Kanye's idea. It doesn't matter whose idea it was, right? You have to negotiate. So maybe they had the better attorneys. Maybe Kanye can go and try to sue, which I heard he's talking to lawyers and he's supposed to be going against Adidas. But if it's in the contract and you're a judge, you're gonna read the paperwork. Is that your signature, sir? All right. Well, it says here they own the designs. What do you? And the plot thickened because Adidas said they're not bending. They're not giving him a dime. So for Adidas to be that confident, they must have the better attorneys. I don't know. What do you guys think? But I'm gonna pass the mic. Haran, what say you?
I mean, they make what, about 70 billion a year? You goddamn right, they got better attorneys. I mean,
They got a firm.
well, exactly. They don't have. Well, this is not just one fucking guy that fell off an ambulance truck. Nah, this is a firm, okay, with a team of people who sit down for probably even a month and go through every single sentence in that contract to prove that, hey, buddy, you're getting nada, you're getting dick, and we can prove it. He'll of course he has nothing. He has nothing to stand on. And if he had something to stand on, see, this is what I was saying a couple of months ago on this channel. A lot of black people have absolutely no clue of the concept of intellectual property. Who owns the IP? If you don't own the idea and you sign the dotted line, that's not your idea anymore, man. I don't give a fuck what you think. I don't give a fuck what you want. And like if you agree, like the Indians agreed to sell this shit for like $25, you know what I mean? If you agree to do a certain thing, and this thing turns into something that you didn't envision, and or in the middle of the situation, you say, hey man, I want a bigger cut, I want a bigger slice of the pot. Okay, yeah, we can have that discussion, but do you have leverage? What is your leverage? What did you do? What did you bring to the table? I got a challenge for everyone in the chat right now. For anyone who happens to be watching. See, a lot of people like to comment on these situations, but they never like to put skin in the game. Yeah. Go to your job on Monday and ask for a raise. Don't ask for a raise on Monday. On Monday, go to your job and ask for a raise. And if you don't get the response that you want, are you prepared to quit? On Monday, on the spot. Are you prepared to do that? Exactly. See, it's easier to watch people like Kanye West, Kyrie Irving, all these people put their asses on the line while you sit on your ass and cheer. You know what I mean? You're an armchair revolutionary. You know what I mean? You got Cheeto stains on your fucking, shirt and shit like that. But you get to go to work on Monday. For instance, there's a lot of people who say that, well, you know what I mean? What happened? Why isn't Jeff Bezos being and this is how stupid most people are. They don't even realize that Jeff really has nothing to do. Jeff really doesn't have anything to do with Amazon anymore. This is how behind black people are with what's going on. But anyway, let's just use that for an example. Like, hey, why, you know what I mean? They're not coming down on them, blah, blah, blah. I've asked every single black person this one thing and nobody responded. I'm like, hey, You don't have to buy it from there anymore, right? No, you can take a stand. You can take a stand. You don't have to buy from Amazon anymore. You don't have to buy them Nikes anymore. You don't have to watch. You don't have to support the NBA anymore. You don't have to do these things anymore. Now, there's a couple of people who are saying that they're planning on, you know, boycotting Nike, but there's a couple of people who say that they plan to lose 20 pounds for the new year. You know what I mean? You know how it goes.
Oh
Like
shit.
people say a lot of fucking things until it's time to put the work in. Until it's time to consistently show up. People say a lot of things. So I guarantee you, Jen, but I guarantee you, by this time next year, everybody's gonna take, there'll probably be a couple of goofy dudes dressed up as Hebrew Israelites, because that's just what goofy niggas do. But this time next year, it's not even gonna be a thing. This is not even gonna be a thing.
So this too, I want to address this because I hear this a lot, right? Again, I don't know why people think, bless your hearts. Bless your hearts. I don't know why people think that because you're a celebrity, you are exempt from, you're supposed to be, it doesn't matter if you're 95. If you die at 95, okay? Who was it? The freaking Dr. Sebi. They killed him. Motherfucker was old as fuck, skinny as fuck, and had a pneumonia. Okay, they killed Dr. Sebi. Drug addicts die. Okay, I grew up in the fucking South Bronx. Crackheads died every other week. It was like, oh, whatever happened to Maria? Oh, she cracked out. Word. Drug addicts die. So I wanted to say that. I wanted to prefix this comment with that. Jack Fabian said, Kanye just exposing what many of us already knew, and now about these entertainers. That's why we lost Michael.
No, that's not why we lost Prince.
Wait. Michael, Whitney.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You just mentioned 3 people who were addicted to drugs.
Weren't they crackheads?
No, listen. With Prince, I can tell you this, and this is actually from behind the scenes for a very long time. And if you can check some of his later work when he was doing live stuff, if you've noticed, he wasn't doing a lot of dancing. And the reason why he wasn't doing a lot of dancing, because he fucked his hip up. And he was supposed to get a transfusion or something to that effect. And he did not get it. And he did not get it because he's a devout Jehovah's Witness. And I believe that a blood transfusion was involved in that situation. So what happened to Prince was this dude would go back out on stage, but he kept taking painkillers. He got addicted to painkillers.
Remember, he was walking around with a cane on all the interviews. Man. He had a cane.
Yes, man. Yeah. So his body began deteriorating. So he began eating less, so on and so forth. I mean, no, there was no conspiracy either with Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston was on drugs since high school. She got Bobby hooked on shit. Yep. That's the real story behind it. No, Bobby was.
It was the other way around.
And Bobby, she turned Bobby out.
Bobby said, I was just an alcoholic.
Exactly.
Bobby was like, these women from Newark are different.
Oh, yeah, man.
Y'all getting canceled. And I love it.
Oh my God.
I'm sick of all y'all.
And in terms of Mike, Mike been on all kinds of drugs, man. Mike has been on all kinds of painkillers. He was having issues. Do you understand just how the physical work that's involved in actually performing day in and day out, he was doing world tours, not national tours. This nigga Mike was in the US, he was in Europe, he was in Bucharest. You know what I mean? Like, how many niggas can be like, yeah, I'm about to go out to Bucharest tomorrow? Like, you know what I mean?
I said it earlier on Facebook. Look, we loved us some Michael and some Prince.
Of course.
Genius. Actual genius. I thought Prince was actual Genus. We loved Whitney. We grew up on these people. These people are the soundtrack of our lives. But they were drug addicts, and drug addicts die. After a while, your body just gives. Your
It
body
does,
gives. You're still touring. You're tired. You're lonely as fuck. You're
right?
underweight. You're
You're most
doing
likely eating garbage. You're most likely eating shit.
right. So it's like bodies give after a while, your organs shut down, like enough with the fucking drugs. I'm out of here. That is what happens. But for some reason, people think that celebrities are exempt from drug addiction, though a lot of them are on drugs to get by. Okay. We even seen Chris Brown look a little weird, right? I hope he's okay.
No. He look a little weird. He had the Bobby Brown mouth the last time I saw him, man.
Yeah, he's looking a little weird. So I hope he takes care of himself because he's a very talented, very, very talented young man. I do want to pass the mic, veganista. I do want to pass the mic to World Kings. World Kings, what say you? Kanye versus everybody.
Was good. I kind of agree with Kanye, and I feel where he's coming from. I feel where Kyrie is coming from, because of course now because people always fight against bad contracts. You know what I'm saying? Let's not act like TLC. Remember they ran down on what's the guy's name? What's the dude name from
Pebbles.
Yeah, Pebbles and them.
Pebbles.
And LA Reid and them.
Yeah.
They ran down on them. Let's not remember, you said Diddy earlier. Remember, Total ran down on his ass.
Oh yeah.
And Mace and the Locks.
But
remember
they signed them shits though, brother.
I know, but my whole thing is that they're fighting. And my whole thing is that it's normal to fight a contract. Okay. So what Kanye's doing is not normal. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to look at it, I'm trying to think of maybe one person I can think of. The majority of people that ever signed their first contract was fucked. If y'all really want to think about it.
Yeah.
Well, you got to look at it like what
you know what I mean?
Like what leverage do you have? Like, look, listen.
Yeah.
If I'm broke, if I'm fucked up, all I got is like, I got this notebook full of songs on my guitar, and this guy has 30, 40 fucking $1 million. Who do you really think has the power in this situation?
Yep.
You know what I mean? So they're gonna
so everybody, so this is nothing new. Everybody's done it. Everybody. NWA. Remember, Ice Cube ended up leaving because of the contract. Everybody has signed up.
White people get robbed too by other white people.
I'm saying everybody. If you want to think of fucking Motley Crue, I don't know about that. Yeah. I'm pretty sure their first contract was fucked up.
Of course it was, man. Of course it was.
But what happened? It's the truth. They take the biggest. It's just like we talked about this, Jim, before, where you mentioned this. I got to give you credit for mentioning this because this is what's happening in both cases. They take the biggest, baddest one. It's just like back in slavery. They take the biggest, baddest one. They take your ass out in the front. They hang you, cut your dick off. Well, no, they fuck your girl. They fuck your wife in front of you first.
That was Brother Ish that said that.
No, you said that too.
Oh, I did? Okay.
You said something to the extent.
Mm-hmm.
They take the biggest, baddest one, do all that shit in front of you, and they let the other one see. So that they can get in line. And that's what happened. But see, the people that got in line, they doing it for the money. Shaq and them, they like, well, give us some money now. You know what I'm saying? Let's sign some deals. It's like Shaq and Charles Barkley, they just gone. Whatever it is, they're gonna go with against it. It doesn't matter what. In every situation, they have no type of fairness about what they do. But like LeBron, who was it? LeBron and Shannon Sharp. They jumped on Kyrie first. Now they're like, okay, y'all going too far. But it's like, don't burn my couch and then try to help me put out the fire. You know what I'm saying?
To me, he didn't. What did Kyrie lose? Let's be honest.
He lost a lot.
All this. No, he didn't. He's saying exactly. He's saying all this, and he's still gonna recoup his $30+ million contract when that suspension.
No, but he's still losing money. He lost his contract. He lost his Nike contract. He's still gonna lose stuff. But what I was saying was,
all Kyrie has to do is come on the court. Kanye's a different story.
No,
Kanye's
no,
the only
no, no, no,
person
no,
I
no.
know.
He lost. They said that they're not going forward with his Nike contract. That's losing something. He's lost something. You know, they get
And
paid per game. He lost money. They get paid per game.
and
He
he did
don't.
Under
He's
Armour
basically
won't pick
saying
up.
that he did lose something,
He
Tristan.
did
That's what
lose
he's basically
something. It's not.
No,
right.
nah, he
Yeah.
didn't. I said
Yes, he
he's
did.
a
He literally lost something.
no. Listen,
Dude,
listen.
do you understand? If I get paid every single game, you know they break down those payments per game. He gets paid per game. The dude's gonna miss at least 5 games. He
Man,
gets
he,
upward. Hold on, he gets upwards of almost like 500 bands a game. The dude done lost some. Then he's
There's a
about to
I,
lose the contract. I'm just
there's a
saying he
difference
didn't lose
between losing
everything, but
something.
he lost
Exactly.
something.
There's a difference between losing something and losing everything,
Yeah,
Tristan.
yeah, yeah. But with as far as Farrakhan, I'm like you, Jen. I didn't really see where the slight happened.
Mhm.
I think Kanye is just on some Tupac shit right now. You know what I'm saying? If you say anything, if you say
Man, that
fuck
didn't end well.
Jay-Z, fuck
That didn't
Nas,
that
fuck
didn't end well.
Bad Boy as a record label staff and as a motherfucking crew. And if you want to be down with Bad Boy, then fuck you too.
Oh my goodness,
I think
man.
he's on some shit like that. If you do anything besides get in his corner, he riding on you.
Right.
So I don't see what he said.
I honestly, right now, if for anyone who wants to get in Kanye's corner publicly, I wouldn't even do that because he's too erratic. I wouldn't
Yeah,
even trust him. I wouldn't even trust this guy
Good
because
point.
it's like this guy's too volatile. He's all over the place. You
yeah.
know what I mean?
Like 50, that's
If
what 50 said. 50 said, calm down and then we'll holler.
exactly. Calm down, get your head straight, then we'll sit down and have a conversation. I can't talk to you right now. I don't know
Yeah,
what the fuck
yeah.
you're liable to do. You know what I mean? I sit here and ride for you, and then tomorrow morning you be like, "Oh nah, me and the Jews, me and the Jews, we had a talk for a minute, and we just worked it out." And you know what I'm saying? I mean, and then next thing you know, 50's out there looking like, what the fuck you mean you had
They
to
done
work it
started a
out? You
school
know
because
what
he
I'm
wanted to start a school with him. They done started a school. Next thing you know, he done fucked the whole school up again.
and that's the whole shit. You know what I mean? So it's like, you got to wait till this dude is in his space
So
where he seems like a rational human being.
what do you think about this statement? Because I hear this a lot. You know, I make fun of it in my monologue. I got truth, you got truth, he got truth, everybody got truth, right? This statement right here, BK Brown says Kanye being stripped for telling the truth. Now, what truth is he telling us? First of all, that we didn't already know. And what truth? We know that contracts are biased. What truth is Kanye telling? What truth is he telling us? Where's the truth? That someone that has more pull, power, and money than you is going to give you a fucked up contract?
the
He got
The
truth is
original the original Jews were black. I think that's the truth
man,
that's being harped
Yeah,
on
but
right now.
yeah, I think that's
man,
what they're talking about.
the truth is he's not taking his bipolar medication. That's the truth. This is what happens.
That's the truth,
I
I
think
guess. I don't know.
I think it's evident that it's something that because there's nobody that's gonna say nothing right now. You know what I mean? Like Diddy is like, let me holler at you, but I think somewhat of the people got good intentions with wanting to holler at him, but they also is like, if I'm the one that tames this nigga, you know what I'm saying, then I'm gonna get some more money coming my way.
But this
right.
I just want to say something one
That's what
second.
he's saying. That is exactly what he's saying. That's
Kanye is a master manipulator, and he's very much a politician. When a politician, he's very much a politician,
oh,
Kanye West. And I'm going to explain something. When a politician, when a politician prepares a speech, and he or she particularly wants to be viewed as if they're on a stance, they make sure to put in the buzzwords that cause, what I mean, that will cause the group that they're trying to speak to react or bond with them. It's not necessarily the message. It's just, what I mean, the particular words that they throw out there that
Yeah.
allows the group to actually say like, oh yes, I can relate to this because this is the familiar word being said. This is actually science. I'll discuss this with you, Jen, behind the scenes. Now, And if you notice, okay, I'm gonna give you an example. See, Kanye, he did all this work with Jews behind the scenes. He did all this work with, whites behind the scenes, so on and so forth. Somewhere down the line, I believe something happened. There was a hiccup. He didn't get what he wanted. And instead of taking this in a particular route that he should have taken it in a professional manner, he decided to behave like a spoiled child because he is devoid of any kind of, what is the word, any kind of maturation. He is stuck, I mean, in many ways as an adult. Now, what does he do? The moment that he does this, he screams and yells and kicks, and he speaks to black people, and he mentions God. He mentions blacks being the original Jews. He mentions contracts. He mentions robbery. He mentions any kind of, form of spirituality and victimhood that the people can connect with, that black people immediately will connect with. If you ask the average black person, like, did you really sit down and think about what the fuck this motherfucker was saying? Or did you just connect with the words that he was saying? Did you
Well,
just
yeah,
connect with
because
the words that he was
because
presenting?
remember Candace Owens was all backing him. Now she ain't even so much speaking up for him. Now she's speaking up for Kyrie. She like, Kanye, you even too much for me.
Now, Candace is just an opportunist. She saw Kanye and she
Yeah,
saw, hey, I could get my
but she
husband
thinks,
$140
No.
million.
She saw them ramifications, and now she's like, nah, I'm not finna touch that.
yeah, but that's the thing. Unless you watch Candace Owens, often you don't know. But Candace Owens spoke very, very, very harshly against Adidas and demanded that they give Kanye his money, and they're not going to get away with taking his money. So Candace is still talking her shit. Candace,
Yeah, no, but she hasn't said that too much lately about him. Now she jumped over to Kyrie Irving.
well, she's an opportunist. Whoever's popping, that's who she's going to go with. I don't think it's out of fear. Candace is like, where can I get paid? Who's the
And
dumb Negro up next? Where can I get paid?
and
Um,
back to the black celebrity thing. My thing is, it's not about them trying to reach Kanye. It's an ego thing. Like
that's
like
what I
Diddy
think.
has Diddy has the gall to sit there and say, "Oh, this brother's in trouble. I'm Diddy. Diddy, Puff Daddy, who made Notorious B.I.G., is going to save him." I agree with Kanye to that point of, who are you?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. But they don't want
I
to. They
agree.
halfway want to save him, but they want to get some money though. So
No,
they're
no,
like, so
it's
like
a clout
Shaq and
move.
Charles Barkley, they all like, I don't believe what he believes. Jewish people, now come give me some money. Give
Everybody
me a
trying to be Al
contract. Give
Sharpton.
me some.
I think there's more. I think that there is more money and ego involved than there is let's save Kanye West. That's what I think. Specifically with Diddy. Specifically with I'll calm him down. I'm Diddy. He gonna listen to me. And everybody's getting it blown back in their face. This right here is always interesting to me, and this could go every which way, and we don't have 10 hours to cover this. Welcome, Brother Ish. I'm gonna pass the mic in a minute. But this statement here, Kanye is waking up the masses. The truth is revealing us and exposing them. Here's the thing: Marcus Garvey,
Oh my
Fred
God.
Hampton,
Jesus.
okay, Malcolm X, Minister Farrakhan. I mean, there have been so many people telling us the truth, exposing the white man, Whitey, the white devil, okay? For centuries, Albizu Campos, for the Puerto Ricans out there, okay? Felicita the Betances, Roberto Clemente. I mean, these melanated folks just been exposing Whitey, okay?
Angela Davis. The list
Angela
goes on.
Davis, let's
The
keep
list goes
going.
on.
The
The
list
list
goes
goes
on and
on.
let's keep going. Lolita LeBron, who ran up in the Capitol with an AK and said, fuck Whitey.
Yeah. No,
From
they
the
was the real.
beginning,
They was the real revolutionary.
Asada Shakur.
Yep,
Sada
all of them.
Shakur, okay?
Yeah.
From the beginning of time. So it cracks me up. I am sorry, respectfully. It cracks me up when I hear someone say, they working in it. Kanye waking up the masses. So Kanye is about to do what Asada Shakur couldn't do. What Fred Hampton couldn't do.
Man,
You gotta love rich people problems. How they get
man,
everybody to talk.
Kanye gonna do it.
man,
Kanye
listen.
gonna free the people. That's what Kanye's gonna do. And then when we are woke, let's say best case scenario, everybody wakes up tomorrow morning. Oh shit, it was white people all along. Wake up, everybody. Wake up, everybody. Everybody's up. Everybody's up. Now what? Do we
You buy
have a
Kanye's album.
military? Do we have a military? Are we gonna all suit up and do zebra killings part 2? Like, then what? Are we gonna run up in the offices with it? After we're all woke to the masses, after all the masses are woken up.
You motherfuckers got nuclear weapons. What the fuck is you gonna do?
Right, like, I want to know what's the end goal? What's the plan? After we're all woke, now, oh shit, it was Whitey all along. We're
No,
all
the
woke.
plan is to buy Kanye's album.
Oh, you know
That's
how
the
much
end
that
goal.
sell when it drops? That's just
Of
gonna
course.
be cool.
Everybody's gonna buy his album.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just not. So it's silly, but I do feel that Kanye, he's not dumb. He does use the buzzwords like church and God and Jesus, and because he knows that's like kryptonite for Black people. God and Jesus. Who said God? It's like throwing up the bat signal, except it's a picture of Jesus instead of the bat, right? Like Black people, that's what they respond to. Jesus, God, forgive. Yeah, let's all help Kanye. Kanye don't give a fuck about a fuck.
Can you imagine we all die, right? And we all there is a heaven per se, and Jesus was like, I ain't writing none of that shit. I don't know the fuck y'all. Everybody been saying this shit ever since y'all came up here. What the fuck? He's like
Look,
this.
man. I told Jenny this, man. I think Jesus was a pimp. I think Jesus was really a pimp on the low, man. Every time you look in the
That's why
Bible,
he defended that prostitute.
every time you look in the Bible, we got some kind of prostitute around them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so I'm like, what regular dude always got some hoes around him like that? I think he was a pimp. Anyway.
I want to pass the mic to Brother Ish because I know he is.
You passed me the mic when he calling Jesus a pimp, right?
I pass you the mic.
He said Jesus is a pimp. Now here go Brother Ish.
Yeah, you should be quiet.
Brother Ish, what do you think? You were here before, and I asked you, how would the NOI or religion in general reach out to this new, young, bolder asshole of people who are no longer as religious as they used to be? They're not afraid of eternal damnation and hell anymore. These kids are about making money. And now we have Farrakhan, which I always thought was really dangerous for us. I saw Kanye kind of like getting at Farrakhan. He didn't say anything, derogatory, but he was like, I feel slighted and you're gonna have to get on the phone with me. But I ain't taking disrespect from none of y'all. And he threw Farrakhan under that umbrella. With that said, I'll take this back to Snoop Dogg. When I saw Snoop Dogg disrespecting Gayle King and Oprah the way he did, I was like, Molly, you in danger, girl. Because Snoop Dogg is someone with a huge platform, and he's letting all those followers know, people like Oprah and people like Gayle King, which are, the echelon, the elite, Black excellence, okay? No matter how you feel about Oprah, Gayle King, these women did it right. They aren't the quote unquote hoe. They went to school. They became millionaire and billionaire on their own, walked that straight path. You know what I mean? They're the best of the best, right? And then you have somebody like Snoop Dogg calling them all kinds of bitch face hoes. Fuck you, I'll catch you outside, and fuck you, bitch, and that to me was very, very, very dangerous. Because I'm like, Snoop is letting everyone know, specifically millions of Black people, even these women that are the best we have, I'll take them down to bitches on a stick. Like I'm talking to bitches on a street corner. That's very, very dangerous. Although everybody thought it was funny while it was happening, what he was initially doing was worse than even like white people do, in my opinion, right? So similarly, Kanye is now, in my opinion, instead of just being quiet, right? You should be quiet. instead of being quiet, now he's even like stepping to Farrakhan, like, you can't tell me what to do. I feel slighted, and I ain't taking disrespect from none of y'all. Where back in the day, we would just be like, that's an elder, that's a religious leader. I'm not talking back to that person because of all he's done, with us in our community. So what do you think about that, Brother Ish?
That's above my pay grade, and those two individuals have each other's numbers, and they can have that conversation in relationship to that when it comes to those two and the statements that he made.
Now you see that that's a very professional and honest fucking statement. That's an example of a person that understands where he falls on the scale of a particular situation. And maybe the best thing is to not speak on that particular matter. Thank you, Brother Ish, for giving an example of a person who just knows that, maybe I should just shut the fuck up. And I've been there. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, I'm just going to just shut the fuck up and just let this be where it's going to be. I'm sorry to, but continue, sir.
Brother Ish, continue.
In relationship to the youth and the dynamics that, and us reaching these individuals, again, we have youth that are coming through the doors every day, and we throw the youth at the youth, and we give them good counsel. So there's not even with the circumstances that exist where somebody may inadvertently have spoken or, speak aggressively based upon the factor of how they perceive themselves. We're tempered more with patience in those type of circumstances because we know that, there's a difference between, the dog barking at the moon and the moon barking at the dog.
So what can you say as far as Kanye versus everybody, right? Where he's naming these moguls now. He's like, fuck you, Jay-Z. Beyonce was untouchable. She was untouchable, but now it's fuck you, Beyonce. Fuck you, Diddy. Fuck you, Meek Mill. Fuck you, Boozy. Fuck everybody. What do you think about Kanye versus everybody? And do you think that he's being sincere, or is he being self-serving? Because I don't know. I see both. I see Kanye like, fuck all y'all, but then I also see like, let me get the support of all the Black people. And it's easy to get the support of Black people long as you mention Jesus and God and the church. We all know that. That's not no secret. That's what, catapulted Tyler Perry was. He used the Black church in all his work. What do you think about that?
I think it's unfortunate that he. I think it's unfortunate that he's responding the way he is in relationship to people who have supported his career. But again, those type of situations, are individually based, and this is consistent for what we've seen with brother. So he's our brother. We work with him in his process, and pick up the pieces, once it's done.
Do you think that it's anybody's place, including Farrakhan or whoever Diddy or whoever is? Do you think it's their place, though? Do you think it's their place? Is this not just a businessman who didn't like some of the deals he did and now he's speaking out about it? Why do people feel entitled to come in and be like, whether it's Diddy calling him? When Diddy texted him, what Kanye did was posted the text messages. What's to say he has that backdoor conversation with Farrakhan, records it, and then throws it on Instagram, right? Why do people feel entitled to even intervene is my thing. Why do people feel entitled to intervene?
I don't understand your question when you say entitled to intervene for his support or his assistance, or intervene in. I don't understand.
Okay, Like Farrakhan coming out and talking about Kyrie and Kanye, it wasn't his business. He just feels like I am the leader of the NOI and I need to say something, right? Diddy, it wasn't his business. Diddy was texting him like, yo, don't do this and that, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Whoever else is reaching out, why
Well,
do they
yeah, like
need to intervene?
Like Shaq and Charles Barkley and Shannon Sharp, everybody intervened in this. You know, that's the name of the game today, Jen. You know, everybody.
They didn't intervene in a sense where they're trying to stop them. They gave commentary. Everybody's giving commentary. That is true. But Shaq and Barkley didn't reach out to Kanye. Hey, brother, don't do that for X, Y, and Z. They're doing what they do. It's part of the show. I'm talking about intervening to try and stop Kanye and stop, like, hey, let's have a sit down. That's what I mean.
Well, you know, the minister's commentary recently, which is available on YouTube, is basically he didn't try to stop Kanye. You know, by my understanding, you know, just how I interpreted that whole dialogue. He basically said, "Leave the fight to me," and leave Kyrie and Ye alone. So that's why I was confused by the intervening dynamic that you were presenting. So yeah, no, he stepped in front and said, you know, ADL, you have the fight is with me, and I'm more equipped, and I have a team of men and researchers and ministers that can handle anything that you bring to the table. Say it again.
What's ADL?
Anti-Defamation League is one of the top Jewish protective organizations.
Oh, okay.
It's like the NAACP for Jews.
Oh, okay.
I did not know that.
Yeah, the ADL. This is where this fight really comes down to. And a lot of times, what the ADL does is that they do these shakedowns, and that's how they get their money. You know, you get a situation, they go hit the big celebrity, and they say, "We'll donate money," and you'll find that, you know, Abraham Foxman is the head of the Anti-Defamation League, and their repentance is always, you know, a check. You know.
Oh, that's interesting.
And to go to the Holocaust Museum, and you know.
That's interesting.
So you know, so you have the Anti-Defamation League, which is the top tier shakedown group, and then you have the JDL, the Jewish Defense League, which is the lower end, and they're the boots on the ground. They're like running around with picket signs and, you know, who do you want? Farrakhan, how do you want him dead? Like they do those type of little protests and, you know, get in your face and do that kind of stuff.
Okay, so it sounds to me like they just cut the middleman out of a defamation suit, basically. Is that what it is?
Yeah, pretty much. They you know,
defamation. Anybody could sue for defamation, not just the Jewish people. If you defame me, I can sue you and say, no, that never happened. So it's just basically they got their own.
Well, no,
they got their own little group that does some muscle.
That's the glory of all red for them.
Right.
Wasn't the NAACP formed by Jews also?
It was formed. It was financed by I forgot the man's name, but yeah, it was financed by Jewish dollars.
Okay.
Well,
let's go. Let's get the Jewish money.
So let me ask you guys this. And anybody can answer. Not just I don't want to have the spotlight on Brother Ish, but you can answer if you like. I keep hearing, right, from different people. Let's have a sit down. I demand a sit down with the Jewish people and let's talk about this. Different people have said it. Let's talk. Let's come together and sit down and have a talk. What do people expect from that sit down and that talk? Do they expect better music contracts for the rappers that are talking about death and killing all day? Do they expect what? You know what I mean? What's the end goal? Like, I'm a Jewish person.
That's actually alluding to, or a dog whistle for reparations conversation. That's what that is.
Oh. So, but reparations from the Jewish people?
Yeah, there's a laundry list of there's a laundry list of major corporations that extend back into the early, well, not the early years of slavery, but during the years of slavery, where there was finances that were accrued and passed on generationally. And when you're talking about having to sit down, and there's been large reparation organizations that have chased down the money, where this bank now has it, or this insurance company is now this company that transitions into this company that transitions into this company. So there's been breadcrumbs lined up for that. So when they're talking about a sit down, it's a sit down of future involvement, future engagement in what you can or cannot do, or that you have influence over, and the money that you owe Black people.
But hold on. I thought the for so far as the reparations movement that's in an uproar now for Black Americans from slavery, from Black people that are from America, I thought that had to do with the United States.
Me too.
No, I mean slavery, reparations is an international. The largest reparation and the most organized reparation movement is an international. It has an international approach to the whole situation. So they're talking about the Great Britain, British banks. They're talking about I'm losing my name for some of the other countries.
Okay. So you're saying there's a bigger one, plus there's a one there's a bigger one, plus there's the one that's going on that's specifically for Black Americans. Because if you do that British one, that's going to deal with Africa. That's going to deal with Jamaica and all that, right? Yeah, the Caribbean,
that's the largest one. That's the largest, most organized one that has like the receipts. Like there's a big.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
So they chase the where the money went. The bloody glove. Like they got a real thorough. And Minister Farrakhan spoke at one of their situations, which was, he spoke very aggressively. It's like, you can't go in having this conversation and say, oh, please, we like our money. He's like, either we get our money or we burn your shit down. Like, that was kind of the spirit that the minister was
so what aren't
me.
you fighting? I'm saying the word you in general. Aren't you fighting, a futile war? Why would these people, Jewish, whoever, international, Americans, whatever, why would they sit down with Black people for this conversation? And why would they buckle? Why would they give a fucking red cent? Like, why?
Well, I mean, it's well, in our current state of disunification, of course, there's no reason to have that conversation. But if you galvanize enough people, if you affect enough industries, if you put enough threat out there to where it's like, okay, here, we'll write you a check, or we'll write a check, or we'll commission land, or we'll fund this educational scenario, or we'll deal with free Medicare, or like there's just a variety of things that are laid out in relationship to the reparations option. So reparations is just not everybody gets a $20,000 check, but different groups have gotten it, gotten reparations, even recently. So
who who got reparations?
I mean, you're talking about the Japanese have gotten reparations. They're talking.
Oh, I thought you meant like Black people, groups of Black people.
No. California actually has a legislation that's in the works in relationship to giving reparations to Black Americans who are descendants of slaves who can prove it.
How are they going to figure out who's a descendant of a slave?
I mean, it was business. I mean, you forget it was a business transaction. You have ships and registries of names and where and which plantation bought whom, and there's a lot of documentation because it was business. The receipts are out there, and so you can say, like, I know my grandfather was a slave.
Yeah, they
And the
would go
black,
back on the census. They would go to the census.
right? They would go
Yeah,
back to
so
census. They you know, it was they were property, their names, they're attached to families. It's a whole, it's a lot of
It
documentation
sounds like if
attached to it.
reparations are going to happen, it's going to happen in about 100 years.
Well, I mean, you know,
Kids
we can
to get
be optimistic or pessimistic on it, you know, and we never know what the circumstances, you know, play out. You know, maybe you know
I don't think
Kanye
it's
gets
about
every.
being. I don't think reparations is a thing where it's like either you have faith in it or not. I think it is business, like you said, and it's black and white. And I just don't. It's not about being pessimistic. It's about when have a person ever had power and said, "Yeah, you can have some of this." Where? What land? What century? What war? What?
Well, I would say,
That's
and
where I'm
pardon me
coming
for interrupting. Pardon me for interrupting there. I would say that when we were having right before COVID hit, and we were having these masses of people in the streets across the country in a variety of cities, a lot of powerful people got nervous. You can shut down an entire city. I mean, if you look at even the riots of '92, when with the Rodney King riots, the city was shut down in a matter of hours. You couldn't even fly a plane in and out of LAX. So the ability to do it is not difficult. It's just the desire, the will. It's
Well,
just
I'll
the
say
will.
this:
Like,
when here's the thing, right? Because you know my thing is, if I could get rich, get your money, get power, your lifespan isn't long enough. You're just not. If we were alive for 500 years, then we could go, yeah, let's fight out. Your lifespan isn't that long, right? Most of us clock out at 80 to 90 years old. Let's just be real, right? I'd like dealing with reality, not faith and whatever. We don't have a lot of time on this planet, right? We could change a couple things. But when you say something like a lot of people got nervous and they got scared, I also saw the fucking military come out when we got too froggy in them streets. The fucking military came out. And the military is gonna abide by whatever the fuck the government says. So when someone says, well, they got nervous in them streets, yeah, the business owners boarded up, you know, their glass windows and stuff. But how nervous are they gonna get when we don't have a military? What are we gonna do? Stop shopping at Nike? Like, what are we gonna do? Like, there's never a fucking answer, and that's what frustrates me. What are we gonna do? Like, we're gonna make the little old white ladies nervous because it's like those black people are yelling outside again. They have a military. So what are you gonna what are the people that want reparations, unless they're willing to bleed or die or kidnap people, right? And hold them at gunpoint, like really, really get busy. You're not getting reparations.
For
You're not getting
well,
them.
I mean, again,
How do they give you reparations?
I hear you, but like I said, I was there during the '92 riots, and we were getting busy, and you know, for that entire span of time, which was not the first riot that you've had in this country.
Well,
We
yeah,
had
riots
control of the city.
riots are gonna happen. Riots happen in prison, but they still locked up. Like riots happen, right? And everybody gets scared, and the cops come and they bring in the National Guard and they bring in the tanks. There were fucking tanks on the street. So I'm like, yeah, you're gonna riot, but then what? And then it's gonna subside, and then it's gonna the Super Bowl is gonna be on, and everybody's gonna go watch the Super Bowl.
That's the main point here. It subsides. There's no stamina in the fight back.
Right. We can
You
rebel.
can
We
sit
can get
here.
I marched for Trayvon. I marched for Trayvon, and it was over. And Zimmerman walked. That's how riots work. Rah! And then it's like, oh, he walked anyways. Anybody gonna get him?
I
Anybody?
mean, takeoff is already old news.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, like, you know, I mean, you can now. I'll say this. I think that for a number of Black people, I think reparations is more so an emotional component than it really is business. I think it's the opportunity to stick it to Whitey in the ultimate fashion. You know what I mean? And I think that's what it truly, truly is. I think that I think that white people understand that, and even more so, that keeps them from doing it because Black people are operating from an emotional stance. They're not operating from a logical or a practical stance, meaning they have no leverage. There's no consequence in not providing reparations. And when you're in the face of power, power only power only responds to consequence and reward. That's it. If there's no consequence in not providing reparations, then why should they provide it? Are we to say
I
that, well,
agree.
they should? Why are we to sit here and say, well, we should speak to their humanity? Their humanity. Well, if they had any quote unquote humanity, they wouldn't have done what the fuck they did in the first place. So let's just call it what it is. I'm now look, me, I'm a pragmatist at the end of the day. And if I'm gonna come to the table and ask for anything, I don't really ask for anything. I come to the table to negotiate. And if I'm negotiating something, everything is negotiable provided that you have leverage, provided that you have, something to bargain with. And I think a lot of Black people just have a very poor concept of power dynamics. And this is one of the reasons why we find ourselves in this frustrating emotional cycle, of wanting to be seen, wanting to be heard,
Wanting
wanting
to be
to
loved,
be
wanting to be
right, all
loved, but
that,
have nothing to do.
all that. And nobody's caring, man. Nobody's providing this shit. And the only people that we are hurting in the long term is ourselves. You think the Jews really give a fuck? They don't have to. We can kick and scream and say all this about Kyrie and Kanye. Everybody can do all this. I mean, it's great television that they own. It's great, stuff to talk about, in the media that they own. So in the end, they're really kind of profiting off of Kanye basically acting like a complete fucking fool.
They are. They're still making. Not only did they take the money back from him, but they're still making. They're still making money. And I want to say, and this is going to be controversial. My opinion: people of color are too low on the totem pole to be religious. Way too low. You see how the Jewish people, they're hella religious, but they quote unquote own everything and have all the money and have all the power. Them motherfuckers have all day and all night and the weekend, and they're little to be religious. Black people and brown people, in my opinion, religion for us is stupidity. It is fucking insanity because it keeps you docile. It keeps you praying to something that ain't coming to help you or save you. Okay. It keeps you fucking broke because all the money got to go to the church. Right. Like I say, in my opinion, religion for us is sheer stupidity. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not, motherfucker. If you come anywhere near me, I will take your fucking head off. If you say anything ass backwards, I am going to if you say anything ass backwards to me, I'm going to fucking sue. There's some religions that say you shouldn't sue people. The Jewish people got something for that ass if you talk about them. But we can't afford to be religious. And that's why Kanye, you notice, even in this disarray of a life, he's still throwing Jesus at everybody. He's still, God said, Jesus loves me. And Jesus loves me. Can't afford to be religious in the position that you're in. Now, if you Jewish, do your thing. Put the curls in your hair and the hat. But it just keeps us docile. It keeps us prayed up. It keeps us forgiving and turning the other cheek. Did you not see, was it Botham John? I forgot his name. Did you not see his brother hug that white devil in the court? Did you not see the black judge come down off her fucking seat to hug
that me or her?
Devil, to hug that white devil? Did you not see the black bailiff playing with her hair, making sure that white devil was soothed? That's religion. That is what religion does to people of color. What you saw, it was such a perfect exhibit of what religion does to people of color. Now imagine had that cop killed a Jewish man in his house, eating ice cream, minding his business. Imagine what would have happened if the man that got killed that night minding his business in his house, was Jewish, but he was black. So what do black people do to the white devil in court? They ask, can they hug her? And then the judge hugs her. And then the fucking bailiff hugs her. And they're all black and they're all prayed up. That's what religion does. I don't care what religion it is. That's what religion does. And you think that that community of people is going to get reparations? It's laughable. If I was Jewish, I'd be laughing behind the scenes. They want reparations. They think they're going to get it. It's just power. It's just power. But, you know, we waiting on Jesus to come back. Jesus is going to make it right. And this is why we are the way we are. We can't afford to be religious.
Let's go, Jesus.
So,
I
Jen,
know
let me
what
ask you the question. What would you say? And I agree with some aspects of what you're saying, but I don't want to go into that debate. We've done that. That would would be the moral compass for society, because that's actually the intention. And I'm not talking about a slave religion or slave teachings, which is what you're representing right now. That aspect of the word and how it's taught in relationship to, you know, waiting for Jesus and loving your master and all those scriptural quotes were taught to enslave people, and that was that perspective of that belief system. But there are other practices that don't teach religion that way. So with that being said, what do you think is the moral compass if we're not to have some sort of spiritual institution that has some sort of guidance for people? Because everybody can say what is morally right or wrong. And then if you just leave it up to the government to do it, it's gonna only protect its interest and not protect the interests of the people per se. So where is that third party that's there to say, okay, you can't sleep with your nephew or who's a child, you know, because you love children. That's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like,
question. I get so here's my answer, right? It's interesting that people think that religion covers that, right? The Catholic faith, they're all raping little boys on a regular. It is the largest pedophile database in the fucking world. The Catholic Church, right? Religion stops nothing. If you're going to cheat, you're going to do it. If you're going to rape a child, you're going to fucking do it. If you're going to lie, if you're going to rob people, you're going to fucking do it. If you're going to kill your mama, your grandmother, your uncle, if you want crack, you're going to do it. You're going to do it. As far as a moral compass, I am an atheist. You mean to tell me that I can't teach my grandson and my daughter to have fucking morals without shoving Jesus down their throat? I can't do that. I can't teach a child right from wrong from birth. This is right and this is wrong, and these are the consequences. This is why it's right and this is why it's wrong. Now you can do what you want, but remember, mama told you the consequences. I don't need religion to teach a child that. I don't need a Jesus. I don't need a Muhammad. Okay, I don't need a God. I don't need the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost to teach a child. People of color are too dependent on outside forces. And when you're dependent on outside forces, there are no consequences. There are no consequences. There are no tangible consequences. If I tell a child, if you do something wrong, Jesus is going to get you. But remember, Jesus forgives. You confuse that child. Well, I could do it any fucking way, because at the end, I could pray about it, or I could say 5, 10, or Hail Marys and do the rosary, and I'll be okay. You teach consequences to a child, you have a better chance. This is right and this is wrong. If you have sex without commitment, disease, or pregnancy that you can't afford, I don't need Jesus to teach a child that. If you lie, okay, if you cheat on your spouse, if you try to rob somebody, this is what's going to happen. They got jail for you. You want to take a look at a jail? Let's go to YouTube. Let me show you what jail looks like, since you want to be cute and steal shit from people. I don't need Jesus or a God for that. The reason why I don't like religion for us is because there's this huge factor. It's not just moral codes. Religion doesn't just teach moral codes. It teaches you to be docile and forgiving in cases where you should be taking heads off. That's my issue with religion. That's how it teaches morals.
Okay, but again, we're talking about the chief offender. You're talking about the chief offender. We know that chief offender, what its intention is. We know that that's their intention. I'm saying, outside of the intentional ones that are there to mitigate society at this point, in a manipulative way, as it's been going on for the past 400 years. Let's just wipe them away. What would be the moral standard? What would be the moral code?
I just told you how to do it with our religion. I just said it. I just told you. What do you mean code? You don't know how to teach a child right from wrong?
Yeah, but let me say this. There's 5 of us on this panel right here. I would scarcely say that we would have 5 different opinions about different things.
About everything, yes.
I, for one, think that morality in itself is a human construct, and there is no such thing. If we're really being honest.
That proves my point. That proves my point right there. So
no, there is no such thing as morality. No, let me
if,
give you an example. Before let me give more of that. If every human being was wiped off on the face of the planet right now, what is morality? What is a moral compass? Who is there to exercise the concept of morality? Who is there to exercise the concept of love, camaraderie, so on and so forth? These are all constructs that we created when self-awareness came into play in order for us to successfully govern ourselves in a civilized society. Now, I did not say that morality was wrong or right. I just said that it's a human construct, just like love is, and so on and so forth. Now, go ahead. Go right ahead. I'm done.
Ish.
I said that I agree. I mean, but I also believe that, God is a man. I don't believe that God, is manifested through men. And I believe that God is a spiritual evolutionary thing the same way that Buddhists do. It's very similar in the whole concept. So I'm not looking for an ethereal being as my guidance or my historical focal point. It's what collectively is right for a just and cohesive society. So in that we're aligned.
So do you think?
But again,
do you think human beings
again,
like how old is
absolutely? I believe that.
How old is how old is, because there's so many religions. There's all over the world. There's so many different religions. And everybody's religion everybody's religion that this is how it's supposed to be. But to me, it goes to show how dependent we are of religion, to where we're having this conversation now where, well, if we don't have religion, how will we teach our children morals? That goes to show how religion retards your brain. It literally retards your brain. Our brains are made intact and whole to compute. That is what our brains are for, to compute. And then you insert religion in it, and religion tells you you can't have a moral compass without this Jesus or this God or this Muhammad or this.
I'm not.
Or this,
that's not what I'm saying.
Religion. No, I'm not saying that's what you're saying. I'm saying that is what religion does. If you take a newborn baby, a child, and drop him in the middle of the forest, he don't know shit about a Muhammad, a God, or Jesus, whatever. Then you drop another baby in there. They have to figure that shit out. Well, shit, that burned. I can't touch that anymore. That's your brain. Your brain computes. Well, God, you just hit me. That hurt. I felt pain. Then you drop a third baby in there. They grow up. These two having sex. This new one is there. She goes to have sex with this one. This one may or may not feel jealous. He may not feel a thing, because sex is sex to him, until you put in his head, that's adultery. You see what she just did there? That's adultery. It says it in the Bible, right here in the Bible page, Leviticus, Corinthians, alabaster, purple. Now he's thinking, oh, that's adultery. But
so
if
no
one touches them with religion, they're just beings that are fucking because it feels good. That's true.
Let me present a contrary perspective. Okay, you drop 2 individuals in the jungle. You drop in the third. The 2 have a child, or say you drop 2 and 2, just so we have some sort of scenario.
Okay.
that offends that female. That she's like, you're not sleeping with my man. I'm offended by that.
That wouldn't
Instinctively.
happen. Wait. No. Now you're making them couples. If you present to them that they're a couple,
I'm just
do it right.
I'm presenting a scenario.
No, but that's if we're gonna make an experiment, because now you're putting couples in there. So if I'm going in and someone told me this is your man, this is a couple, then I'm gonna be offended that my couple, the guy I'm coupling with, wants to go over there. But put me there, put you there, put World Kings there, put Haran there. None of us know fuck about a fuck. None of us never heard religion. None of us are couples. Blank slate brain. We're gonna figure out how to fuck. And once we do, which one of you is gonna give a fuck that I'm fucking somebody else unless someone told you it was wrong?
That's absolutely correct.
I disagree.
Someone told you I am a couple with you. Now they drop me you there and they say you're a couple with Ish. Then World Kings comes down and Haran comes down. Then you're gonna feel away.
I would say I disagree just on this perspective. The responsiveness, to one's nature of this I'm with this person now, or we have a special connection. That's it feels exclusive. That can be a dynamic that then alters the perspective of free love and collective, buddy, everybody's, having sex in the party. Now,
there's no concept of love. If we're talking about people that are just dropped in the middle of the fucking forest, there's no concept of love. What the fuck is love? You know what I'm thinking? Shelter. We're cold. We need heat. The animals coming to kill us. What are you gonna do, person that's stronger than me? That's what I'm thinking in the middle of the forest. I'm not thinking I love a motherfucker. I'm thinking we gotta eat, and that thing is coming to kill us. What are you gonna do, person who has bigger muscles than me? What are you talking about love? What love?
Well, let me say this. You have historical examples of small societies that have existed without the quote unquote having a religion, and they have a moral code that was innate, that weren't taught by Christian ministers or Jewish priests or Jewish rabbis or Christians or anything.
But
wait one second.
Survival or morals? Is it a code?
I'm talking about people that lived in. You find in cultures that were not influenced by the top three religions. Okay, let's just use. They still had a semblance of,
What are the top
Christianity,
three religions?
Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. Number 4 is Buddhism. Okay, and cultures that were not touched by them. What was their infrastructure? What did it look like? What were they having? Were they having just free sex all around, or were they pairing off into couples, and were they moving into family units, or the quote unquote term nuclear family units, and building out family structures and having a sociological methodology of how they interacted and a way of being right and wrong to one another. That you have examples of that. So there's only a few societies that were just going around free fucking and having no sense. And that was primarily the first interaction with the Vikings. They had that behavior where they had no limitations when it came to sex. They had no limitations with partnership. They had no modesty when it came to public sex. There was a cleanliness issue. There's a whole lot. When you look at the first encounter with Vikings, that is one report where you can see that there was no moral base one way or the other.
I think you and Jenna are presenting two completely different scenarios, though. You're presenting a scenario where, in some regard, some sense of civilization has come to the table to a degree where people can say this is the right thing and this is the wrong thing based on the programming from previous generations. What Jen is basically saying is that this is something that you can go back to, like saying, okay, the Neanderthals, where we're not even truly aware. We're just living off of basic humanoid instinct.
Right.
And also we have to keep in mind that Homo sapiens outpaced and were able to kill off the Neanderthal because, well, we just outfucked them. We were just fucking like left and right, and after a while there was just more of us and lesser of them, so we were able to kill them all. So I think that's kind of like what Jen is saying. She, I mean, there's no presence of any sort of civilization. They're just we were animals. I mean, at that at some point in time, there was no right or wrong. There was just survival. The only goal was to survive. Then when we outpaced the Neanderthals and we were able to thrive and move forward, then we created civilizations, we created laws, we created a number of things. We created, I mean, deities and so on and so forth, or whatever it is, that we helps us to move forward as a society. I think that's what's being the difference in two of these scenarios being presented. Feel free to correct me.
No, that's exactly what I'm talking about, and we see it play out a lot in current times where people want to be polyamorous, right? Where people want to take something that wasn't given to them. We still see that we have those instincts, right? I don't feel like paying for that. I'm gonna take it.
Well,
That's human.
That is human, Jen. We have to also take into consideration that every text, every religious text, like a good 80 to 90% of that shit is really telling people to fucking behave. Behave, or this is gonna happen. You behave. This is a story where someone didn't behave. This is what happened when this person didn't behave.
This what
It's
happened to Job. This
literally
what happened to Cain and Abel. This what
yeah,
happened
no,
to Eve.
it's literally it's the Bible, the Torah, so on and so forth. It's a constant, what I mean, it's a constant hammering of behave, because at our core, as human beings, if we don't have a leash, if we don't have these things, we are animals. We will do the most
That's my
hard thing.
point.
I did a bit of an experiment with a bunch of people, and I asked them, okay, if you had a superpower, which one would it be? If I gave you two superpowers, the power of flight or invisibility, which one would you pick? Most people picked invisibility. Do you know why?
So they can
Your
get away with
ability
doing shit.
Exactly. So people
well,
could do
that
whatever the
also
fuck
be
they
able
wanted and get
to be
away with
able
it.
to see things
What
that without being seen.
Exactly. And that is who many of us are at our core. At our core, we don't talk about it enough because I'm pretty sure everyone, like, there's a guy in the chat right here who believes that anyone in power is evil. No, what I mean? Like, dude, I done met plenty of broke motherfucker that was a piece of shit. Okay, just because you're broke, just because you're poor, doesn't mean that you're closer to God.
Ish, Veganista said, does the NOI eat animals?
It is some do, some don't. It is not legislated in relationship to our faith. It is suggested as a better way of living. And you have to remember that in 1930s, coming to Black people telling them that they can't eat meat, it was an extremely revolutionary idea. It's still a fight to tell Black people to stop eating pork. So, so it's a progressive suggested approach to life. If you read How to Eat to Live, which is our dietary book.
But going back to the topic, I know we went all over the place, and it's wonderful when we do. World King's been quiet, but going back to
No, I just been listening. I've been in and out actually.
Okay, cool.
I've been moving around.
Cool. Going back to the topic and why I say, about the whole reparations thing, Kanye waking people up to something that it doesn't matter again how woke up people going to be. It doesn't matter how many riots. There's no military. There's no military attached. And again, there's too much Jesus in it. That's how I feel. If you, no one came into power, right? Praying about it. People took shit. And for some reason, it's not getting in our heads. People took shit. There were no sit down dinners, right? Unless it was white with white sitting down, right? There was no sit down dinners. People took shit. People had to bleed, and a lot of people had to die.
But Jen, no, but Jen, you said that Jesus this, and there's really no Jesus out here. Like the religion, and now Kanye, that's something separate. He may say that, but the religion is not like it once was. I'm pretty sure most of us grew up in some kind of church. Now these days, kids don't go to church like that. Grandmas aren't around and force you to go to church and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I do agree with what you're saying, but it's not like that. It's not like it's a whole big old religion thing. Religion is lost now. You have it, but like it's nowhere near like it was like when we was growing up.
A Jewish woman told me one time before and stuck with me. Like I'm gonna give you guys an example. My child, she goes to church and so on. I have no issue with that. If she wants to believe in God, that's her business. Even if she's trained and raised to do that, And it's because of one thing. An older Jewish woman told me one thing, and this is one of the reasons why we cannot get it together as a community. She says it's not about religion; it's about community. And that is why they are where they are.
That's actually very, very eye-opening, because that is exactly what it is, right? I know we talk about Jewish people like it's a religion, but it really is at the end of the day about the strength of their community. That's really all it is. And I do agree with you, World Kings. Religion isn't what it used to be. These young kids, these kids that are making $1 million with YouTube channels and TikToks, they don't give a fuck about a Jesus. But all the people, the generation that keeps harping about reparations, all of them are good and prayed up. Okay, all of them are good and prayed up. The generations that are coming up now don't give a fuck about reparations. Why? Because they're making $1 million with a YouTube channel. They don't give a fuck about a government check. They don't give a fuck about healthcare. They don't give a fuck because they're making millions of dollars on these machines. So that reparation talk is gonna die.
Well, yeah, no, because their parents are not having them in the church or nothing like that. They don't. Their parents aren't going to church no more.
Right, but I'm saying their parents are still harping about reparations, but their parents are not going to be willing to.
Yeah, but reparations don't have nothing to do with religion, though.
No, I'm saying that they connect because they're too prayed up to be ruthless enough to go in there and fight for reparations.
But see, what I'm telling you, though, is the people that are talking about were like the heads of the reparation. Those people are, except for maybe a couple of organizations, most of these people don't go to church. You don't never hear these people talk about Jesus and God and stuff like that.
They're religious, though. They're religious to the point where, look, let me put it this way. Ain't none of them talking about reparations willing to run up in nobody's white office, grab somebody by the throat and throw them out the window. And this is how we're going to do things. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but I don't think that has nothing to do with religion. That just happens to do with them not wanting to, they don't want to do that, period.
Right, but religion has a lot to do with it, though. Of course, they don't want to do it.
I would agree.
No one wants to go to fucking jail.
I would concur there.
That's what they're scared of. I think, hey, Jen, I think they're more scared of jail than they are of some type of religion. Because jail, you're gonna feel that.
Yeah, but those white folks that stormed the castle, they didn't care about jail.
Oh yeah, they did. They asses was crying, and now they talking about this and that. They did care. They crying now.
No. Afterwards,
right?
Of course, that's when you. Of course. But when you really bout it, if you really bout it,
don't even want to go into the door. That's the point.
Oh yeah, they don't want to go in the door. But yeah, best believe them motherfuckers is crying now.
Oh no, that's a completely different thing. Everybody goes to jail. Everybody.
No, not everybody. No, not everybody. No. Because if you run up in there, you supposed to be like, I know it's finna be consequences. I'm finna run up in here.
You supposed to. You know what I mean?
But I will
that's
say this. I will say
most people are built like that for real. Like for instance, that white woman who got put down real quick by that Secret Service agent.
He
You
was
know what I
black.
mean? I'm pretty sure she didn't really. I'm
Well,
pretty
hold
sure
on,
she
one.
didn't
Which
have
one? The one
the
that got
white
ran
woman.
over?
No, she didn't
Shot.
get run over.
The
No,
shot.
she went up there. She got put down 2 shots to the chest, and it
Oh,
was
okay,
done.
okay,
It
okay,
was done
yeah.
for her. And you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure she ain't had that on her bingo card when she ran up into that spot like that.
Well, it just, again, it just depends on your buy-in in these whole situations. I mean, if you buy
That's
into
what
the
I'm
whole
saying.
thing, and you're like,
If you buying,
I'm gonna
that's
roll
like
with
if
this.
we right now, if we all right now conspire right now. Of course, this would never ever happen. I don't want nobody get no. If we all say, "Hey, y'all, we finna run up in this motherfucking bank," we all gonna sit down. I'm gonna say, "Hey, y'all, can't be no crying. You got kids, okay? Just know
Absolutely,
there's
absolutely,
a positive side of this, and there could be a negative side. The negative
absolutely.
side is our asses could get caught. Do you
Yeah,
guys understand?
of
Okay,
course,
now
of
let's
course.
go.
So I'll say this. I'll say
But
this about the white folk. I'll say this about the white folk. Regardless of the aftermath when they came to and they were like, oh shit, handcuffs. Wait a minute, I don't want to go. Regardless of that, they had the fucking white trash balls to say we running up in that bitch and we going hundreds deep. Unless people that want reparations are willing to do that, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen with a march. It's not gonna happen with a sit down. It's not gonna happen praying to Jesus about it. It's never gonna happen. It's
the
just
closest thing to that was the LA riots, man.
right.
The closest thing to that was the LA riots. So it can happen if you're passionate enough.
Right.
But they done castrated us real quick after that time. So no, we ain't really about shit now.
And that's why reparations don't have to happen because there's not any consequence.
Now
At
the
least
LA
Well,
riots,
I would say
the
that
LA
you still,
riots is some
I
bitchy
would
shit.
still, I would still say that you have to have a plan and a circumstance in place for reparations, for a case for reparation. You have to have that
Absolutely.
because when you come to the table, you can't come with your genitals in your hand talking about, oh well, what if somebody comes to the table and says, what do you want, and you don't have a
Right.
plan in place, you don't have a system in place, you don't have an organization, you don't have a body of individuals, because again, when you talk about military and you say, well, okay, there's not this military that's out there. The Taliban don't really have a serious military, and they've been doing very well off guerrilla warfare. And they beat the largest, most well-funded
But
military
why?
on the planet.
What will the Taliban do to you if you go out there and fuck with them?
There's a
Well,
consequence.
that's what I'm saying.
Okay, so they
Again,
don't
their
even
religious, their religious zeal,
the zebra
their
came
religious zeal, their religious zeal.
Yeah, they religion.
Say it
Yeah,
again?
they go behind their religion too.
Yeah, their religious zeal is what puts them fear. When every bullet that comes out of a gun comes with an Allahu Akbar. Every bullet. That is
comes
one
from
thing that
strong
they
belief.
do.
That is strong belief, though.
Right. Well, they're really, you know what?
Exactly.
Then that's what people of color in this country should start do the Taliban religion. Because those motherfuckers are Jesus. If you prayed up, but that Lord or God or whoever you pray to is going to have you running up and getting them reparations by force, then by all means, go pray to whoever that is. If every bullet comes out with a Allah Akbar, right? Jesus ain't giving no bullet.
Look, man, it'll be a hell of a lot more effective than being a Hebrew Israelite right now. I'll tell you that much.
Right?
I'll tell you about that.
The Taliban is some real G's.
Are nothing.
Yeah. They some real G's over there.
Nah, they
the
real,
Taliban.
Them
some real G's.
They keep it.
Them dudes is thorough.
What religions we got over here? The religions we got over here got motherfuckers hugging the killers of their brothers in the middle of fucking court in front of the world. In front of the world.
That was embarrassing, man. That was embarrassing.
The judge in front of the fucking world. The bailiff in front of the fucking world hugged that bitch.
Yeah, she was supposed to say God gave his only begotten son and slapped the shit out that motherfucker.
You're not even willing to be held in contempt of court to run up on her bitch and punch her?
Nah, ain't nobody. This ain't the Black Panther, sugar. Ain't nobody running up in no. Ain't
Oh
nobody.
yeah, they
running
was
up in
yeah,
no-
they was thorough too with it.
Nah, there ain't nobody running up in no police station, bombed up, strapped up. Nah, this ain't the 70s.
We're far from the
Niggas,
young boys.
motherfuckers is trying to watch. Motherfuckers is trying to go home and watch Love and Hip Hop, man. This ain't that, man. This ain't that.
I would say concentrate on making your fucking money. You know, it's like even when I see people defending Kanye and Kyrie, don't fall on a sword for motherfuckers that ain't gonna give you a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. Kyrie ain't doing nothing for the people. Kanye ain't doing nothing for the people, but you know, blowing Jesus up their ass like a lot of them leaders do. Concentrate on making your paper and getting your money. Your lifespan is short. Think about generational wealth. I wouldn't even fuck with no reparations, nothing. The shit,
But you
I mean,
know
it
what? I mean,
sounds-
that doesn't guarantee you anything because a lot of people have concentrated on making their money, and then their sins come out, their issues come out. The next thing you know, they this life of retirement and wealth and philanthropy that they thought they were going to live, now they're doing it behind bars.
But they
You
don't.
know, so it-
Prayed up people too. They're like, you know what? Everybody in prison got a Bible in their room. Religion too. Like you have a better chance. All right, pulling up your bootstraps, going out there, being a badass, getting some money, teaching your children the same. Stop fucking blowing religion up their ass.
Jen, hold on. As much as you say religion, as much as you talk about religion and Jesus, I think you love Jesus on the under.
Cool.
You, as much as you talk about it, I think you love Jesus. Do you love Jesus?
Nice joke. Wah, wah, wah.
Nah.
Wah, wah, wah.
which Jesus broke your heart, Jen? Which Jesus broke your heart, Jen?
Was it the black one or the white one?
No, but it's like, you know, people like, well, you know, even when you did that on your own, you fit motherfuckers. Listen, ain't nobody. The most fucked up people I met in my life were religious. From the NOI to the Pentecostal to the Christian, the Catholics. That's a whole show by itself.
Damn, shots
the
is
most
fired
fucked
over
up
here.
people I met were religious. Because they always have that umbrella of what's something out there is gonna forgive me. My mama told me something out there in the sky is gonna forgive me. The book says it. The book. It doesn't matter what religion it is. I think it retards your brain. And
This guy Israel Grace in the chat sounds like this guy Israel Grace in the chat sounds like a real victim. He's been spouting off all kinds of things in the chat, man.
I thought
all
BK
night.
Brown was. BK Brown is trying to convince us that
both
this
of them.
is gonna get us.
Both of them. Like, it's gonna be okay, man. Like, nobody gives a fuck. I promise you,
I'm
man.
not Catholic. He says she's Catholic. I'm not Catholic. I'm an atheist. I'm not Catholic, Christian, Buddhist, Muslim. I'm not. Who's a Catholic? Is he talking about me or Joanna? He ain't talking about me. I ain't religious, homie. I got a brain that works and it's intact. Okay?
Oh, Jesus.
I don't need the fear of anything to do anything. I don't need the fear of anything to do anything. And I don't need the fear of anything to be compassionate and nice to people. I don't need the fear of anything to help me stay at a job or not cheat on people.
Wait a minute. Money don't buy peace of happiness. Who the hell told you that, BK Brown?
Why you ask him like that? Who the hell told you
I'm
that?
a very peaceful and happy man. Like, I don't really know where we coming with these kinds of things.
But religion. Remember, money is the root of all evil. Religion put that in your head so you could be fucking broke and giving your money to the church. Religion.
Look,
Religion
as they say, money can't find happiness, but it can pay for the search. I guarantee.
Actually, the quote is the love of money is the root of all evil. It's not that.
Well, there you go.
Money. I love money.
So,
Let me tell you something. Loving money never fucked me over like loving a human being. Facts. Loving money never fucked me over like loving a human being. Every time I loved money and made money, I was able to buy what the fuck I wanted to. I was able to travel where the fuck I wanted to, and I was able to live where the fuck I wanted to. So let me love some money. Let me love some money. Let me love some money.
So money provides you freedom. That's what it provides you.
Yes.
So would you do anything for money, Jen?
No. Not
Okay.
anything. No.
Ooh, you were starting to.
I'm a
Ooh, you
fan.
were starting to
I'm a
scare me. You started to scare me, Jen.
I wouldn't be here talking to y'all if I did anything for money. I'd be in fucking Hawaii with condos.
I think greed is good to an extent. To an extent, I think greed is good to an extent.
You gotta be a badass out here. You gotta go for
You
yours.
gotta,
You gotta be
you
a badass.
gotta, you have to, man.
I don't know what I think.
Don't let nothing make you go.
I agree. I agree. I mean, I value money as well. I won't say that I don't, but I would say that the one thing that we're seeing with individuals who have a great deal of money, we have a lot of cowards with money. I'll say that.
But we have cowards broke. That's what I understand your point of view, brother Ish. We have cowards that are fucking dirt broke. Cowards that are broke.
But nobody cares about the broke cowards. It's like when you have money, now you shouldn't be a coward. That's the whole point. If you're broke and a coward, then it's whatever.
But you're talking about
but when you have, but what I'm saying is when you have money, you shouldn't be a coward at that point.
That doesn't make sense.
The ultimate goal is wealth and finance.
But that's like saying when you have religion, you shouldn't be a coward. And I know plenty of religious cowards. When you got religion, you shouldn't be a homosexual. I just saw a pastor today talking about he slid off with a sneaky link. And with 3 kids. There's cowards in every tax bracket. Why are celebrities?
Well, nah. The fact of the matter is if you're a coward broke, you're gonna be a coward when you got money.
Absolutely.
That's right.
So whatever
Absolutely.
money gonna make you more of what you is. That's just the way it works.
It's gonna make you even more comfortable than what you are.
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
BK Brown says I'm crypto rich. I was telling people about Bitcoin a decade ago. That says a lot, sir. That says a lot that you're crypto rich.
I'm crypto rich. I was telling you crypto rich?
Okay. Yeah. That shit is about worth. That shit is about as crypto. Crypto is about worth as much as the fucking toilet paper I just used a second ago. But anyway, that's another story in itself.
Yeah, but I don't like. I'm gonna tell you that's why I'm about to fight brother Ish, because they always try to put it. Well, there's a lot of cowards that are rich. There's fucking cowards that are broke. There's cowards that are broke. Ain't nothing wrong with money. Get your money. If you can hear the sound of my voice, like Joanna says. If you can hear the sound of my voice right now,
I'm not mad at wealth and financial
money. Get your money. Stop worrying about what's going to happen after you die, because nobody fucking knows. Get your money while you're here breathing and living and trying to raise your children. Get your fucking money. Don't worry about the reparations, and don't worry about nobody's help. Get your money. If you can hear the sound of my voice, get your money.
Look, when I was broke, motherfuckers called me an asshole.
And I'm gonna get my money. I'm gonna do both. What about that?
Good luck on the reparations. You ain't got the army or the commitment.
We'll see.
You don't have the army or the commitment.
He said, "We'll see."
We shall see. We shall see.
I can't even carry guns. Farrakhan could have had a bunch of killers. He said, "Don't carry no guns." No.
You don't know. Let me say this. Okay.
Y'all been saying that how many years now?
We don't put our faith in guns, and that does not mean that if we had our own land that there would not be guns there. There may be nuclear weapons if we had our own land. So let's not say that this is ad infinitum. The condition right now, since we don't manufacture our own guns and we don't manufacture our own bullets, if we did have guns, all they'd have to do is surround us and we'd go into a shootout and we wouldn't have anybody or any resources to get any kind of extra guns to fight this battle. It'd take weeks for Africa to send over some guns. And then they still have to come through customs. So until we have a land with ports that we control, to walk around with guns, it's futile.
Meanwhile, all the motherfuckers that got guns own shit. You see what I mean?
I mean, the nation owns shit. What are you talking about, Jen? Come on now. You know better than that.
What?
Come on.
What?
The nation owns land, property, farms, businesses all across the country.
Hey, listen,
So, I
I got no issues with the nations. Y'all some nice guys. and it's good that y'all are on the planet. Got no beef with the nation or any beef with anyone who's prayed up and religious. Just get out the fucking way and stop preaching to people to be fucking docile. Let people get theirs. Let people go for theirs. Stop that shit. That's my own beef with
we don't
religion.
teach docility either. And we don't teach docility either. That's not our program. That's somebody else's program.
But you don't teach violence either.
We teach those, we smack those who smack us. That's the bottom line.
Well, that's nice
Now,
and
we
safe.
know that. And if, what'd you say?
I said that's nice and safe, isn't it? Everybody smacks somebody. Who's ain't anybody on this panel gonna stay smacked? Iran, you gonna stay smacked? World Kings, you gonna stay smacked?
Oh no, I'm not gonna stay.
Ain't nobody staying smacked, Ish. Is that your selling point?
Hell yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna turn the other cheek.
That was a point of reference, but understand that you have a nation full of great many individuals that were notorious in the streets and known killers.
But they're not now. Because
that does not mean that they do not have the capacity to be.
We all do, except for World Kings. World King say he's gonna turn the other cheek.
Yeah, I'm turning the other cheek.
Well, King said, man, they got nuclear. King said they got nuclear weapons on that side, man. I'm chilling out, man.
Yeah, I'm turning the other
Ain't
cheek.
nobody using bombs, bro. They not using
Nah,
bombs.
Y'all know I'm playing. I ain't turning the other cheek.
Actually, the atomic bomb was used twice. It was dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Only 2 times a nuclear weapon is actually used in the history of American warfare. Only
Yeah, and didn't they get reparations for that?
Right.
I did not know that. I believe so.
They got reparations for that. American Indians got reparations. I mean, I'm sorry. The American
Native
Japanese
Americans, they got reparations. Yeah,
got reparations. Jews got reparations from about 3 or 4 different countries.
The use of nuclear weapons, to be honest with you, no one's ever going to use a nuke.
That's what they're saying Russia is about to do. You got your conspiracy theories, but I'm like, it was supposed to end on the 21st, September 24th or some shit. Some shit was supposed to happen.
They've been talking that shit since Oppenheimer. No one's going to use a fucking nuclear weapon like that, man. No one's going to do that. Because first of all, in order to do that, you're basically committing suicide. Because everybody depends on everybody in terms of, when it comes to trade and so on and so forth. So if you use a nuclear weapon, you're pretty much wiping out a freaking area.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do that.
It's tough talk. It's putting your schlong on the table. That's all that shit is. You know what I mean? That's all that shit is. It's tough talk. No one's doing that shit.
Joanna, in answer to your statement, we're not saying that the 13% of the Black Americans in this country are going to fight a war against the U.S. That's not even going to get that far. So we don't have to worry about that. So I was stating the fact of the futile aspect of just running around with guns. The Panthers found that out. That was it was just a bad idea. They just, what I mean.
And they have people infiltrate the Panthers, and it's like it's too messy. Like
I do believe that Black Wall Street not being militarized to some degree led to us being basically decimated. You know what I mean? You can't believe that our progress isn't going to cause some degree of jealousy. It's, what I mean? If it's going to cause a degree of jealousy amongst ourselves individually in our own community, we must calculate that.
We was thinking we was just going to be able. We was thinking we was going to be able to just sit in harmony and we going to leave y'all alone. We going to go over here and do our business. And they said, "Hey, Billy Ray, what's going on over here?" And
then drop some shit on them. Drop some shit on them, and that was the end of that. So, what I mean, had we been militarized to some degree, or at least been ready, I believe the story would have been a lot different. But we have been conditioned to use violence on each other, and not violence.
Maybe Jen was speaking some truth. Maybe we was too religious.
I mean, that probably could be it too. I don't know.
Thinking that we were just gonna be able to live in peace and hustle and and
I
getting
think
getting.
it's a combo of that, the religion, and also the being conditioned to kill each other, because it's not like we're docile to the point where we're not killers. We're killing each other every weekend in our cities. Let's be clear. So we are killers. Okay, we can be savages. It's just not directed in the right direction. It's not directed towards the right people. We some killers now, though. I'm saying South Bronx, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, Chicago, Black, we killing, we killing.
Yeah, the DDPs and the
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody.
We some killers out here. Now imagine if all them people with that killing instinct directed it elsewhere, but that's not going to happen because, like Haran said, we've been conditioned to kill each other. Thank you for the super chat, Joanna Washington. This was my only super chat of the night. I'm feeling the ways, but it's okay. I'm going to survive this. See, I'm loving my money right now. Joanna says, Brother Ish, if they wanted to put you back in slavery tomorrow, you have no power to stop it. Ouch.
I have all power to stop it. Joanna. The Taliban kicked the entire United States and Russia out of their country. We have all the power, and I'm very clear on that. So if that's an example of the intestinal fortitude of just saying no, this is not going to happen, and I'm not going to be complicit in that process.
I ain't gonna let them enslave Brother Ish. I'm gonna be right next to him. I allow you rock bar, letting my shit off.
Right.
Yeah,
and we're not going to let them enslave you either, Joanna.
No, absolutely not. I might let
she gonna show him where you at, Brother Ish. She gonna be like, you looking for Brother Ish?
Oh shit.
That's quite all right, because we'll see what they'll do with her when they're done.
Oh God, what is happening?
Don't say that, man.
Joanna, I'm messing with you. Joanna, I'm messing with you.
Don't say that, man. Don't say that.
You can never side up with your enemy. That's all I'm saying. You can side up and you can point one direction.
I don't think she was implying. I don't think she was implying that you would side with them. I don't think she was implying. She was just basically saying
I don't think
that I think she was just basically saying that if they wanted to basically put slavery back into effect, there's not much any of us would be able to do.
I don't think this person is coming.
That was not very fruit-like, but I would like to answer that. I would like to pose
Dr.
that question.
Khalid was an FOI. Remember that.
I do remember. How could I forget?
Okay. All right. So
what if
sword cuts both ways.
What if we answered that question? If, let's say, some crazy shit happened and slavery was coming back in town, how would we stop it? We'd have to die.
No, I'm dying. I'd be a terrible slave. I'm barely a great employee. I'm keeping 100 with you. I look them crackers right. I would look them crackers right in the eye and be like, "You don't want me." So we just might as well get this over with.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to die.
Because I really might fuck your wife. Like, really, I'm one of those slaves.
See where we're going.
Ish, what you doing? You jumping from the ship?
Hey, I never said, hey, sir.
I'm gonna try. I'm not gonna jump from the ship. I'm gonna do like Sinkyu from the Amistad. I'm gonna try to take over this ship and sail back.
You gonna do like Nancy, that speech he gave? Nancy said, "You already fucked, so you need to go up there."
Right. That's my man. That's my man right there.
100 years after that, still fucked, and they gonna call you nigga, and that's the nice word they gonna call you. Oh my god. Oh no, he said they gonna call you black.
Beautiful.
It was
and they fired his ass right after that motherfucking episode. Powerful monologue.
No, he came back. He came back a few times.
He came back?
Yeah, he came back a few times.
He gave two heavy monologues like that, and it was like 2 is too many. That's too many.
Okay.
When they were like in the morgue, he gave another powerful, and they were like, yeah, that's too much. Yeah, your stop is here. Let him out. He spoke about it. Joanna says, thank you for the super chat, Joanna. such a big supporter of the show. Joanna says the Taliban didn't kick the U.S. out. The U.S.
Oh Lord.
Oh my
against
God.
First of all, I don't even know why it's 13%, because 13% of motherfuckers ain't fighting a goddamn thing. Most people gonna be like, I don't want no problems.
So it's that 5% of that 13.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
So
Right.
pretty much gonna be like 50
Let us be clear. The Taliban kicked the U.S. out. The Taliban kicked the U.S. The Russia out. The Taliban did the damn thing. They put up a good fight. Now, I don't agree with their policies. I don't agree with their belief systems. You know, they are my Muslim brothers, but they have a skewed perspective of the faith, because I don't like how they treat women.
They're extremists, right?
Educate women, that's a problem. You know, and they make it a practice to do that. But if we're going to just talk about fighting and revolution and defending your land and standing up for your principles, then cats hold their own. So you can't take away from them to say that the U.S. just left. Oh, we don't want to fight anymore. The U.S. has never been that type of entity of a government. They're a colonizer at its core.
And didn't they get owned? Didn't they go in there and like snatch up Osama bin Laden by his boots?
I don't know the story on that one. So I mean, they sent
the whole world knows the story. The whole world knows the story. They did a fucking movie about it.
I mean, you know, that's one side of the story. I mean, you know, there's question marks if Osama bin Laden actually ever existed, and if he was not just a made up entity. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, I'm not full on that conspiracy, but what I'm saying is, you know, all of a sudden he just, we got him. You know what I'm saying? Like they just came back with that flash over there that you see in the fuzzy little video. We got him. He's gone. He's not going to be a problem anymore.
So this is up there with the moon landing.
Yeah, and wasn't he in business with the Bushes?
That's what they said.
Yeah,
and Saddam Hussein. They did the same thing to Saddam. All of a sudden, they was like, "Oh, y'all, we got him."
Right. No, I think no. I really think they got Saddam.
Yeah, but it came out of nowhere. I mean, they was looking for him.
The pictures were terrible.
But they came out of nowhere. He looked like he wasn't eating or nothing.
Oh yeah, man. What they said, they found him in a hole somewhere.
Yeah, they found him in a hole, and then they hung him in Iran. Iraq. I mean, that was a cold piece. And then they videoed the hanging.
They videoed Gaddafi too.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
And but look at the whole thing.
We talk shit, but America's no joke. He's some G's over here.
I mean, man.
But America never was no joke now.
Afghanistan. They ain't done that with Afghanistan. They got ran up out of Afghanistan.
Or Iran either. They didn't get old boy from Iran either. They was on his ass.
We also lost the Korean War. We also lost the Korean War. Don't forget that though.
Exactly.
So on this note, I think we're gonna close, gentlemen. He's gone because he stopped dropping mixtapes every other week.
Stop the cat.
That's stupid.
Dylan. All right, guys. This was interesting. It went all over the fucking place. I started with Kanye versus everybody. Now we talking about the Taliban. See, brother?
Jen, that always happens on this show.
That's true. Well, it's always a good time.
You got some intelligent people. That's what it is. You got some intelligent folks that are able to pull from different sources. Absolutely.
I do. Always great points of view. We don't always agree, but we're not supposed to. As long as we all agree that none of us are going to be slaves.
Man.
Oh, we agree on that. Or if we gonna be slaves, we gonna figure out a way to get up out that motherfucker together.
Listen, if I gotta go, I'm taking that pink dick with me. Clear off. I'm going. I'm going. You going too.
Okay. And on that note, class dismissed.
I'll lay down, bitch. I'll lay down. All right, guys. We're out of here. forget, Joanna didn't hurt nobody tonight too much, so that's a good thing. Thank you for watching. I see y'all tomorrow. Hopefully y'all come through tomorrow. Tomorrow's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Do you want me to tell you what tomorrow's gonna be?
Nah, don't tell them, man.
You sure? All right.
Nah, yeah, don't just let it happen.
All right. Tomorrow's gonna be interesting. Come back, Roll Kings. Come back, Brother Ish. Come back, Haran.
All right, y'all. Peace.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Peace.
Peace, peace, peace. Good night. All right, guys. If you're even here still, hit that like and subscribe on your way out. If nobody told you today, let me say it so you can hear it. Like Joanna says, if you can hear the sound of my voice, I love you. Maybe you didn't hear that today. There you go. I love you. Right? I hope that helps somebody somewhere out there. Don't forget, On the Block with Jen on all social media, Instagram, TikTok, at Gmail, On the Block with Jen, Cash App, On the Block with Jen, On the Block with Jen. Hit that like and subscribe. And come back tomorrow. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be different. I'll let you guys know. I'll announce it a couple hours before, so you ready. Come back, Joanna. Of course, we appreciate you immensely. You already know. Joanna, you may want a piece of tomorrow's show too. All right, guys. So I am out. Good night. Be good this weekend. Thank you for holding me down in the chat. I love your comments too. Good night, guys.